third baseman, number 23, Simi Whitehill. 99, the shortstop, number 7, Jack Rickard. Pitching this evening for the Navigators from Harvard University, from Princeton University, number 15, Liam Keene. Physical member of the SwampBats and our ambassador of goodwill, number 00, Ribbon. Sean, Casey O'Brien, and Stephen Banks. Now the Dunkin' Donuts starting lineup for your own Keene SwampBats. Joining the SwampBats tonight, as they take the field, are our baseball buddies, the Steelers, coached by Charles Richmond. Leading off, SwampBats, the center fielder, number 41, Gabriel Pitts. Gabe is joined by Connor Sullivan. Batting six, the third baseman, number 21, Dick Romano. Joined by Penny Hart. Batting seventh, the DH, number 25, TJ Styler, joined by Xander Little. Batting eighth, the SwampBats, the second baseman, number 2.
At Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire, where the Keene SwampBats take on the visiting North Shore Navigators. I'm Ryan Fitzpatrick. Alongside with me is Augie Walters. Augie, how we doing?
First time here in Keene. I am doing fantastic. Should be a lot of fun here. The Navigators in search of their first win on the season. The SwampBats looking to make it a win streak. Should be a fun one here tonight. It's a beautiful night for a ball game, isn't it?
That's right. Well, it's a hot June night for some baseball as the SwampBats and Navigators are making their final adjustments. We'll take a short break. You're watching the NECBL in Keene.
As our string went down here. All right.
pitch is Julie Peterson. Julie is a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and tonight she is the pitcher for the SwampBats. Julie Peterson was diagnosed with cognitive impairment in 2015, and in 2019, the diagnosis changed to Alzheimer's disease. Julie now lives at Langland Place in Keene and spent the last 15 years in Brattleboro with her husband Jack. Julie is thriving socially and loves attending various social activities and is excited to be here tonight, showing that Alzheimer's doesn't define her. Please join us in welcoming Julie to kick off this incredible night.
Back here at Alumni Field, where first pitch is just getting underway shortly. But first, we'll check in with our sideline reporter, Andrew Hilsman. Andrew, what you got?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Well, last night the SwampBats got their first win of 2025 and their first win in the home opener, taking down the Upper Valley Nighthawks 5-3. I talked to Coach McKenna before the game. He said it was a strong, resilient team win, and he was impressed with how the dugout bonded together. They've not been a team for very long, but they had good energy last night. He was impressed with that. They've got a tough test tonight in the the North Shore Navigators, and the pitcher on the mound. It's going to be a good one for the Keene SwampBats. Ryan, back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. And first pitch getting underway shortly as looks like an honorary thing is getting underway on the field. But Augie, both teams off to a slow start in game one of the season. Obviously, the SwampBats bounced back in game two, but this is game two for the Navigators. What are you looking for out of them here?
Well, I am really excited to watch their starting pitcher, Liam Keene, tonight. Just finished up his freshman year at Princeton University. Strong Sunday starter for the Tigers. He's going to be stellar on the mound, I would have to think. Also excited to watch Benjamin Rabitin from Kent State. He's the starting pitcher for the Keene SwampBats tonight. I am excited to see how he throws. Kent State had a really strong year in the MAC last year, and I think he's going to look to try and build off that success here tonight.
That's right, Ben Rabitin on the mound for the SwampBats. He has a four-seam fastball with ride and a nasty cutter, according to the pitching coach, and a great changeup. When you have that cutter along with the fastball, what does that really supply when you're on the mound?
I just think the fact that he has multiple pitch types that he can throw for strikes is something that he's going to try and use to his advantage here today. He's going to try and light up the radar gun with that fastball, and we'll see if he can locate his off-speed pitches. That's really what it comes down to, especially when you're pitching to guys with wood bats. They've been using metal bats for a long period of time in their collegiate seasons. Now they transition into wood bats, and I think he'll be able to use that to his advantage.
Well, this past spring in this 2025 college season, he had 12 appearances, but he only started one game. What kind of adjustment do you make when you're coming from the bullpen and now becoming a starter?
I think it's a different routine that he has to get himself into. He has a lot longer to think about when he's going to pitch, just opposed to if he's going to pitch. He knew about this start leading into the day. I'm sure he was very excited for it. Second home game for the SwampBats. He gets the ball, and I think we're ready to go here.
That's right, and Rabitin also with 12.2 innings pitched, and he tallied 12 strikeouts on that. In the field, catching for him today is Thompson at third base, Romano, shortstop Cup, second base Manolfi, and Tupou at first base. Left field O'Brien, Pitts in center, and Spielman Rodriguez out in right field for the SwampBats. And Parks steps in for the Navigators to lead off this ball game. First pitch, taken on in there for strike one, and we're underway. 6:36, the official start time in this one.
Yeah, you mentioned Zach Thompson working behind the dish. Senior catcher at Mercer University, the battery mate here tonight.
The 0-1 is taken low, and that'll be the first ball. Parks yet to get a hit this season. It was a tough one back in their first game where they had a shutout. He takes that one up high for ball 2.
Yeah, the Navigators lost 5-0 to the Upper Valley Nighthawks on Tuesday. Only managed to get 1 hit in that ball game. It was kind of a good wake-up game for the Navigators offense.
Well, right here, Parks is ahead 3-1 against Rabbiton to start this one.
And with that being said, they were able to draw a good amount of walks in that ball game as well. Just couldn't cash them in and get the hit to drive in any runs. Looking to get their first run of the season here in the top of the first.
Well, it's a leadoff walk. Parks works. And just like that, a leadoff base runner for the Navigators.
That is a good start to the evening for the North Shore Navigators, getting a speedy outfielder on base. See if he tries to take advantage on the base paths. Thompson behind the dish. We'll try and gun him down if he does try and attempt to steal a bag.
Back in game 1 of the season for the SwampBats in Danbury, Thompson got the start behind the plate. And Danbury took advantage of stealing in that one. Thompson looking to make something different here as Parks is set to lead off at first, but stepping in is Wilson. Wilson, you said to me he's a star in this lineup here.
He sure is. Ethan Wilson out of Winthrop University had a really strong year last year in the Big South. We will see if he's able to continue that here today.
Well, Parks leads off of first base. Rabbiton set. Long hold, the first pitch. Taken on in there for a strike 1.
Wilson had a really strong season, had multiple home runs for Winthrop. Very offensive ballpark down there, but he's going to look to try and drive it out of here. The SwampBats playing at a smaller park compared to others here in the NECBL.
You know, and especially that center field over there at Alumni Field. Look at those trees and how much it's made this ballpark such a hitter's ballpark. Because usually you see the center field being the deepest part of the ballpark.
Yeah, well, we were watching batting practice, and we were watching balls get launched out to center field. So we'll see if that continues here during the game today.
Rabbiton ahead, the 0-2 pitch. Driven on in the air to right field. Spielman Rodriguez gets under it. Makes the grab, 1 gone. As Parks retreats back to first base.
And that's the importance of getting ahead here for Rabbiton right there. He falls behind Parks, surrenders a walk, but he gets ahead 0-2 of Ethan Wilson. He's able to generate some weak contact and get the first out of the ballgame.
As that'll bring up the left-hander in Gold. Gold playing second base for the Navigators today. It's from the D3 program. The first pitch, taken low for ball 1.
Jack Gold attends Pomona Pitzer out in California. He's a shorter second baseman, but has a lot of power. 15 home runs last season.
You know, even it's D3, he's batting in the 3-hole for the Navigators in this one. As the left-hander dribbles on over to second base, Ty throws on to first in time as he had no chance of a play at second base. There's 2 gone now as Parks advances to second.
And that is the speed of Parks playing toward the advantage of the Navigators right there. It was a weakly hit ground ball, but because of his speed, unable to turn 2 there, it's forced to be a put out at first, and Ty Menalfi records the out. Now they're 2 away, looking for a big 2-out knock here, and maybe the first run of the season. Brody Dalton, the first baseman, steps up.
We saw Menalfi yesterday here at Alumni Field make a similar play where he forced that throw at second base. As that one's driven in the air to left center gap. That one is going to be caught by the left fielder in O'Brien, and that'll retire the side. So no runs on no hits. 1 left stranded as we're heading to the bottom of the first. You're watching NECBL in Keene.
One more disappointment added to the ones you left behind.
There he goes, on a second, got it.
One that's gone from it. 2-run shot for Lisa.
This young man has the payoff is crushed.
Off the beams, running schemes, touch the head. But
turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. We put the balls in the brakes. I'm talking one chance at best, yes. Painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the drummer, work the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is a teacher under pressure, now we blessed. Yeah, it's one all, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Back here at Alumni Field in the bottom of the first after a scoreless frame in the top half. And on the mound for the Navigators is Keene. What you got?
Yeah, Keene, a right-handed pitcher. 50 innings, just about 50 innings on the season for Princeton. You're going to see a lot of the curveball he's able to mix in here today, but it's going to be really important again that he gets ahead. Had a 5.8 ERA in 11 games started last season, but the highlight of his season, he had a victory at Wake Forest last year. So Princeton ended up escaping with a victory against the Demon Deacons. Pretty big win for Keene on the mound, but he's got a tough lineup to face here today for the SwampBats.
Right after the SwampBats put up a tough fight yesterday in their comeback win. It was a back and forth win, really, scoring 3 runs in the 8th inning to propel them a win over the Nighthawks. Leading off for them will be Pitts as he gets set in. Pitts batting first, O'Brien batting second, and Cup batting third. The O'Brien and Cup arrived during yesterday's game. We'll get to that shortly as Tupou bats in the cleanup hole for the SwampBats, and then Thompson, Romano, Schuyler, Manolfi, and Spielman Rodriguez. And Keene has that nasty curveball, as mentioned, and someone with the 2-pitch arsenal, as we've seen Keene have so far. When you throw it 30% of the time, is that an advantage towards the hitters, or you just have to have that type of stuff?
Just being able to land it and being able to show it as a pitch that you can use to your advantage, and I think he's going to try and do that right away against Gabriel Pitts out of Central Connecticut State.
First pitch to him is check swing, but he went around and I think it was in there anyway for strike 1. Keene ahead as that one's fouled back as Pitts falls behind 0-2.
Good start for Keene as he gets ahead right there. See if he goes to the breaking ball here, 0-2, or continues punching that heater.
The 0-2 pitch. In there for strike 3 called. 1 gone. He froze him with the fastball.
Sure did. That one on the outside corner. Perfectly located pitch for Keene right there. Gets the call from home plate umpire Chris Barstow. And that's a good start to his outing. 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
And you would think the scouting report going in is that he does throw that breaking ball on a 2-strike count. So maybe Pitts had that approach there with 2 strikes, but he got froze with the fastball. First pitch to O'Brien is up for ball 1.
Michael O'Brien, like you mentioned, him and Dylan Cup on deck. Reinforcements from Mississippi State. They arrived here yesterday, but this is big 2 and 3 hitters for the SwampBats.
That's what they've been missing for the first 2 games, and let's see if they can provide that explosion. O'Brien playing left field, and someone who's been playing left field is Malone for the SwampBats. He's actually a pitcher, Augie, and he's been playing these past 2 games in left field, and he actually homered yesterday, so it's a tough man to replace, even though he's usually in that rotation. As O'Brien gets ahead 3-0. I know you were a pitcher in your days over at Holy Cross. You ever get in that bat over there?
Never gotten that bat. I had a bat in my hand in the on-deck circle once, but was then pinch hit for.
Oh, that's tough. As O'Brien takes a 4-pitch walk. That'll be the first SwampBats base runner in this one.
Solid at bat from O'Brien right there. Takes 4 pitches out of the zone, gets on base.
Especially when you go up to bat after someone strikes out looking, maybe you might be a little more aggressive, but he was very patient there, as you said.
Sure was. Saw the ball well. Didn't chase or expand. It's a good job. And now he's going to look for his teammate to maybe drive him in here.
The other Mississippi man in Cup, playing shortstop for the SwampBats, steps in. O'Brien leads off at first. The pitch in there for strike 1.
Aiden Sengenberger doing the catching for the North Shore Navigators, the battery mate with Keene here today.
The 6'1" right-hander looking to make a mark. It's a pickoff attempt over at first base, but O'Brien slides in safely. O'Brien leading off at first. He does have some speed as he goes. Ball taken high. Throw is also high as it goes into center field. O'Brien will be at second base safely.
Yeah, O'Brien had a really big lead over there at first base. Got a great jump on Keene. Not a real chance for Sengenberger to try and make a throw to get him out there. The throw ended up sailing high, and it ended up in center field. But like we mentioned, shallow center field here in Keene, so that allowed the center fielder to run in. That was Sam Parks. He gets that ball, and it prevents the runner from ending up on third.
And especially important here with one out, you really want to avoid having a free advancement over to third base with less than 2 outs, and that runner has a lot more opportunities to score.
Absolutely. Now Sengenberger and Keene getting on base with signs, probably working on some runner on second base signs right there. First time they've probably thrown with each other.
The count even at 1. Keene sets. Fouled off, and the count moves to 1-2.
Good challenge fastball right there. Cup just a little bit late on it. The shortstop tonight for the SwampBats. He's now got a runner in scoring position.
Cup looking to get his college teammate home, but he's behind in the count 1-2. Keene throws. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Ball trickles away. The throw will be tough, and Cup will reach base safely. On the drop, third strike as Sengenberger had trouble corralling that one. Runners at the corners with 1 away.
Well, that's the breaking ball we were talking about right there. An absolutely filthy pitch from Keene right there. Cup way out in front of it, but unfortunately, it was such a good pitch that it skipped away from Sengenberger, and the drop third strike kind of bails out the SwampBats a little bit right there, and they now have runners on the corners and a big scoring opportunity here in the bottom of the first.
And that will bring up Tupou as the left hand hitting first base and steps in for the SwampBats. Big RBI opportunity here in the first inning. Tupou will be looking to get under the ball here and rise it a little bit, try to avoid the double play. The first pitch to him, taken high for ball 1.
Yeah, Chandler Tupou, 6'1", 235 pounds. First baseman here for the SwampBats tonight out of Charleston Southern University.
O'Brien leading off at first. Runner goes, fouled back as Cup slides into second base. Maybe a hit and run opportunity there for the SwampBats.
Yeah, I think that was also just a pretty good pitch. And Tupou offered at it, didn't come up with it, and that's going to send Cup back over to first base. He also got a pretty good jump on Keene. See if maybe he's kind of not being differentiating with his looks right now.
Still with an aggressive lead on first. This is Cup. Doesn't go. That one's taken high for ball 2.
Yeah, that's just a bit up. Doesn't get the call, does Keene. But as a pitcher, if you're Keene, if you've now seen 2 runners trying to take advantage of stealing a base, it's something where you got to mix up your holds. You got to change up the rhythm that you have on the mound so you don't fall into kind of a trajectory where the runners are able to pick up on when you're going to lift up your leg and almost trying to beat you to your own decision making. And so I think Keene maybe can do a little bit of a longer hold in order to try and throw off the runners. And sometimes they get a little jumpy and then they end up not being able to go.
Right. And with the pitch clock this year, pitchers may try to avoid that and newly being implemented in the NECBL. Pickoff attempt over to first, Cup back safely. And what we saw last time in Cup's steal attempt, looks like O'Brien at third base was really trying to get in Keene's head. He was jolting towards home plate after he was leading off a third. Keene behind, 2-1. Ground ball to short. This could be 2, 6, 4. The throw is offline to first base, and the runner will score. It's 1-0 SwampBats.
Well, that was a tailor-made double play right there, right to Rickheim at short. He's able to flip it to Jack Gold at second. The throw to Dalton at first, just a tad bit wide. Dalton tried to come off the bag, make the catch, and tag Tupou in the same motion, but unfortunately he was not able to squeeze it. The throw gets away, and the first run of the ball game is for the SwampBats.
Gonna go as a fielder's choice, as it'll be an RBI fielder's choice for Tupou, as the first pitch to Thompson is fouled back. Thompson gets the start behind the plate today for the SwampBats. Last time he got a start behind home plate was game 1 of the season, and he had 2 home runs in that, Augie. Last night got the DH role. Still got a hit. He won 1 for 4. Tupou leads off at first base. The 0-1 pitch. Grounded on over to third. Waiting on it is Whitehill. He throws on to first in time, as that will end the inning. The SwampBats score 1 as they lead 1-0. They strand 1 as well. We're heading to the top of the second. You're watching NECBL on Keene.
Service Credit Union has your bases covered when it comes to financial help.
The crowd is starting to gather here at Alumni Field as their SwampBats have an early lead in this one. It's 1-0 as we're heading to the top of the second. Rabbiton looking to have a repeat of the top of the first.
Yeah, it's a purple out here tonight for the Keene SwampBats, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But the fans, you know, it's half and half. A lot of purple out there, but mainly goes for the jerseys and staff representatives as well. They're all wearing purple.
You got some good purple on tonight.
That's what we do. We got the polo on.
It's good luck.
A lot of the fans without SwampBats gear. Maybe they will as the season goes on. It's still early. Game 2 at home. Maybe they'll get some merchandise as the season goes on. Jakonski will lead off for the Navigators as he steps in. Righty-righty matchup to start the top of the second.
Jakonski, a transfer from UNC, now at Penn State.
He takes that first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. "5'11", 200 pounds from Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, is Jakonski, looking to get the first hit of the day for the Navigators. He takes that fastball in there for a strike, and the count evens at 1.
He has an older brother, Joe Jakonski, who played for the Navigators as well. Also went to North Carolina and then to Penn State as well.
The 1-1 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 2.
That was a generous call from Barstow right there. Jakonski didn't like it, took a second to step out. And I think now looks like we're gonna have a conversation, as the Navigators skipper was not a big fan of that call as well.
Said there was no shot. That one was on the outside corner, but like you said, Barstow, the home plate umpire, sticking to his word. Rabbiton ahead, 1-2 pitch, struck him out. Goes back and gets him with a strike in the zone. 1 gone.
And that hurts really. The 1-1 pitch is so important because, you know, when it's 2-1 now, the hitter's in the advantage, but you go to 1-2 and the pitcher has all the momentum and he's able to use that momentum and get his first strikeout of the evening.
First pitch to Peraza's off the outside corner for ball one.
Michael Peraza out of West Virginia getting the start for the Navigators here tonight.
Growing up in Naples, Florida. That first pitch is, that second one is in there for a strike, and that'll even the count.
His Mountaineers are in the Super Regionals this weekend. They won the Clemson Regional.
Swung on and missed for strike two, as Peraza's behind in the count now.
It's a pretty big win going into Clemson and getting that regional. West Virginia had a really strong year in the Big 12 last year, and they're 2 wins away from the College World Series.
Struck him out. Rabbit starting the inning with back-to-back Ks.
That was a good pitch right there. I think that was the changeup he went to right there. Out in front of it was Peraza, unable to make any contact with it. And 2 batters, 2 strikeouts here for Rabidin to start the second inning.
Here comes Sengenberger, the third baseman for the Navigators, as he swings at the first pitch once again. That'll be fouled off.
Sengenberger from Stonehill had some good contact against Upper Valley on Tuesday, unable to record a hit, but he was seeing it well and swinging it well.
The 0-1. Taken low, that'll even the count.
It was a good changeup right there from Rabidin, but an even better take.
When you're a pitcher and you have 2 fastballs, you can say you can count the cutter as a fastball. What kind of advantage does that play? As that one's popped in the air, we'll get to that question in the next inning. As Menolfi settles under it, makes the grab, and that'll retire the side. 1-2-3 inning for Rabidin. We're heading to the bottom of the second. SwampBats lead 1-0.
At M&T Bank, we believe in the power of together. Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
It's a beautiful June evening in Keene, New Hampshire, as the mountain and the barn in the outfield background here at Alumni Field, where the SwampBats lead 1-0. Keene looking for a bounce-back inning here.
Yeah, he unfortunately had the drop third strike in the last inning. It ended up costing him a run after a double play could not be turned by the Navigators middle infield, but he's looking to put up a 0 here in his second inning of work. Stuff does look really good to start the outing tonight. But again, he's got a tough SwampBats lineup that he has to face, and that starts with Nicholas Romano, the third baseman here tonight.
Nicholas Romano stepping in, as you mentioned. Romano didn't get the start last night. Oh no, he did. He went 0 for 3, however. The first pitch from Keene. In there for strike 1.
Romano didn't like that call either. Thought it was a little bit low. That is called a strike.
Sure, Sengenberger had a good frame job on that one.
Sure did.
The 1 pitch. On the outside corner for strike 2.
Yeah, Sengenberger's working for Keene back there. He's made both of those pitches look really good. And quickly in a hole is Romano.
The 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, and there's that curveball.
Now what I like, Ryan, is that Romano really chokes up on his bat here with 2 strikes. trying to just put the ball in play, not trying to do too much with it, but trying to give himself a chance to get on base. More bat control when you choke up on that handle.
And especially after a missed throw last inning. That one's grounded to short. Rickheim throws over to first in time, one gone.
Yeah, Rickheim, a shortstop out of Harvard, a really sure fielder over there at shortstop. Not much gets past him. He makes the play, the throw, and the first out of the bottom of the second inning.
Skyler, that was last night's catcher, steps in. He was 0 for 4 yesterday. He takes that first pitch inside for ball one.
TJ Schuyler attends Indiana University. The Hoosiers out of the Big Ten had 100 plate appearances last year, hit 250 for the Hoosiers.
And he'll be ahead in the count, 2-0. 2 fastballs missing.
2 home runs, 17 RBIs for Schuyler in the 2025 campaign.
A 2-0. Low and inside. Ball 3.
Well, after Jakonski in the top half of the inning was gifted one, or got a strike called him that appeared to be pretty far outside. That one was a close miss, but it's called a ball.
He's running into similar trouble as the first inning. The 3-0. Curveball in there for strike one. Interesting to see there, Augie. He goes to the 3-0 curveball. Maybe he's more comfortable with that pitch.
Yeah, that's not a pitch selection you see very often. Keene made it look easy there, just flipped it right over the outside corner.
The 3-1. Curveball once again taken in there for strike two.
Yeah, I was just going to say, well, I'd have to think he goes back to that pitch here again, 3-2. Lands it for a strike, 3-1 or 3-0 and 3-1. Let's see what he goes to here.
Keene with the payoff pitch. High, ball 4. He doesn't go back to that curveball. Misfires with the fastball, and the SwampBats have a base runner.
Might have just tried to get a little too cute there. Overpowered that fastball, and he landed that breaking ball. And I think if he did that one more time, he would have possibly had success. Unfortunately, he throws the fastball up, and that is his second walk of the evening.
Last time he settled for a walk, that runner came around and scored. It was also a one-out walk back in the first. First pitch to Manolfi is taken inside for ball 1. Manolfi had a struggle early on in yesterday's game, but came through in that 8th inning with a huge RBI knock. Keene sets the 1-0. In there for strike 1.
Yeah, Manolfi, an everyday starter for the Dayton Flyers, 184 at-bats. He had 304 for Dayton in the Atlantic 10, a very offensive conference. Had 7 home runs and 10 doubles to go along with the 56 hits that Manolfi had on the season.
And as a true freshman as well, that is very impressive. Grounds that one. A little dribbler, shortstop has it. High throw to first, but the tag is made. A great job by Dalton over at first to jump and turn with the tag. And that'll be the second out of the inning. Runner does advance a second, however, but with 2 gone.
Yeah, that was a good decision from Rickheim, as he didn't try and force the throw to second base. Instead, his momentum was taking him towards first, so he throws it to Dalton over at first. A little bit high, but Dalton does pick him up, and that time he does apply the tag.
Right.
And they are able to record the second out of the inning.
Popped in the air by Silman Rodriguez. Coming in on it is Whitehill. Stumbles, makes the grab, and that'll end the inning. Despite 1 walk, the SwampBats leave him stranded as we're heading to the 3rd inning now. 1-0 SwampBats.
Lucky ticket time, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of tickets to go here. First one, for a folding chair.
All right, SwampBat fans, it's time for the fan favorite, Find Your Shoe. We have some incredible competitors tonight. A couple repeat from last night. Yeah, I'm talking about go. When I say go, whoever finds both shoes and gets them on first is our winner. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. We have some Crocs. We have some sandals. We have some sneakers. It's an absolute race to the end, and we have a winner over here. Good sir, what is your name? Sam. Congratulations, Sam. You are our Find Your Shoe winner. You get one big high five from River, sir.
Back in Keene, New Hampshire, here at Alumni Field, where the SwampBats lead 1-0. And on the field, shenanigans wrap up. As looked like a kid race there. What'd you see over there, Augie?
Yeah, I think it was trying to find your shoes. They kind of put the shoes all over the right side of the foul territory over on the first baseline. And I think our good friend Sam was able to win that little competition.
I think the culprit there was the SwampBats mascot, Ribby. He looked like he took all the kids' shoes and scattered them around the first base line.
Well, Ribby's always up to no good. That's at least what I've heard.
That's right. The SwampBats do lead here 1-0. Looking to lead off for them is Whitehill, the third baseman.
Out for his third inning of work is Rabidin. He's gone 2 scoreless. He's only allowed 1 base runner. He's retired 6 in a row. Now he's going to try and continue that trend here against Whitehill out of Monmouth University.
First pitch to him. On the corner for strike 1.
That's a perfect location for that fastball from Rabidin. Especially when he's getting the call, he's going to try and live there for the rest of his outing tonight.
The 0-1 pitch. Low. Looks like the changeup there. Couldn't get a grasp of it. That'll even the count. Rabidin sets. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on him, missed strike 2. Blows him away with the fastball. Now he's ahead in the count.
Big hack right there from Whitehill. He's trying to even this game at 1 with that swing, but comes up empty. And now he's going to have to fight with 2 strikes.
Fouled at the press box. And he stays alive with a good at-bat.
And that was right back our way. Thankfully, we got a protective netting in front of us. But I'm confident we would both be able to make the play if we needed to.
Without a doubt. You know, you being a pitcher, I was a first baseman. We got quick hands. As Whitehill still staying alive in this at-bat. Unlike a couple foul balls, especially, that's nice to see after you see a hitter take a daddy hack on one pitch, swings and misses, then with a 2-strike approach, fouling off the close pitches.
It's important to be able to change your approach in the middle of an at-bat. Whitehill able to do that thus far in this one.
Struck him out. That cutter looked like he caught the outside corner. There's 2 gone. There's 1 away. That's the first out of this one.
Another good location from Rabidin. Like I mentioned, if he can live low right at the knees and on the outside corner, he's getting that call. He did it again right there. And another punch out. That's his 3rd of the evening.
Here comes Rickheim that steps up to the plate. In game 1 of the season, he tallied their only hit against the Nighthawks as he gets ahead in the count early, 1-0.
Rickheim, the starting shortstop for the Harvard Crimson.
Out of Milton, Georgia is where he grew up. And is, like you said earlier, from Harvard. Takes that one low for ball 3. Scoreboard's ahead of me, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Low for ball 3.
Yeah, Rickheim has a good eye. He's able to make contact, doesn't strike out a whole lot. Harvard had a really good year in the Ivy League, the runner-up to Columbia.
As that one's a called strike, it's on the outside corner. Rickheim didn't really do the wrong thing there. He waited. That was just a late strike call.
It was a late strike call. Rickheim not trying to show up the home plate umpire. Felt bad about tossing the bat there.
Yeah.
But I think the more and more outside strikes get called, the more and more the Navigators bench is getting a little bit upset with this strike zone.
The 3-1 is on in there for strike 2.
You already saw the head coach for the Navigators, Bob Macaluso. He was not happy with the strike call earlier, made it known, and now Rickheim's going to have to fight.
The payoff pitch struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts to start this third inning.
That was just a challenge fastball again right there from Rabidin. He said, I'm just going to give you my best stuff and see if you're able to beat it. And Rickheim was not able to. Fastball pretty much right down Broadway. And it was swung through. And Rickheim is retired. 2 quick outs again for the SwampBats.
That changeup is taken outside for ball 1. Rabidin with 4 strikeouts for the first 9 batters.
Sam Parks walked his first time up, the only base runner thus far for the Navigators.
He bloops that one foul and out of play. And we'll even the count now at 1.
Sam Parks out of Stonehill, just like Eden Sengenberger.
Takes that changeup in the dirt, and he's ahead in the count, 2-1. Similar start like his last plate appearance. Getting ahead in the count early. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled away left side once again. Count is 2-2.
Parks heading into his senior year at Stonehill. He's been a really good player. Career .299 hitter in 3 seasons at Stonehill. Hit .302 last year.
Changeup taken low for ball 3.
He had an on-base percentage of .476, which I mean, he's getting on base almost half the time he's up there. Parks working a full count here again.
And I believe it with that take on that changeup. The 3-2 pitch. Looped over to the third base side. Romano working back on it. As O'Brien couldn't make a grab as well. It'll go foul.
That was just fouled down that third baseline. Parks trying to find no man's land over there. A little Texas leaguer, but unable to get that one to drop in fair territory, and he's going to have to do it here again.
He's making Rabidin work now. Still with the full count. Looking to strike out the side. The 3-2 pitch. Taken in the dirt for ball 4. That'll be the first base runner since Parks was up back in the top of the first.
Again, I mentioned he had a really strong on-base percentage. He showed his plate discipline in his eye in his first 2 at-bats here. 2 walks for Parks. He's aboard for the 2nd time today, and now Wilson steps up with 2 outs.
Flew out to right his last time up. Put a good swing on it. But it was right at Spillman Rodriguez over in right field. First pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1.
I think that was the cutter right there at 82 miles an hour. Unable to come up with it was Wilson.
Parks leads off of first base. The 0-1 pitch. Dribbled foul. And Rabidin ahead in the count, 0-2.
He's ahead of the count of Wilson, 0-2 last time as well. And we've got Wilson to fly out to right. I think Wilson's going to look to try and get a different result here, but good job from Rabidin getting ahead when he needs to.
Rabidin went to the high fastball his last time when he was up 0-2 against Wilson. See if he does the same here. Struck him out. 5 punch outs for Rabidin as he holds on to this lead going through the 3rd inning. We're heading to the bottom half of the 3rd. SwampBats lead 1-0. The tire race is wrapping up here at Alumni Field. The top of the order looking to set for the SwampBats, as Pitts will get his second go of it after striking out looking his last time. But Spielman Rodriguez will step in before he does.
Keene has thrown 2 innings of no-hit baseball. He's surrendered a run in the bottom of the first. He is going to look to try and do the same sort of thing here against the top of this SwampBats order. Pitts, O'Brien, and Cup all due up for their second at-bats of the evening.
Struck out on 3 pitches his last time. First pitch to Pitts. Bunt attempt, dribbles it down the first baseline. That one stays fair. The throw to first base, not in time. Pitts beats it out. And the leadoff base runner for the SwampBats.
Well, that's the advantage of having the natural surface field right there. That ball was trickling down the line, looked like it was going to go foul, and then appeared to hit maybe a pebble and stayed fair. And then Pitts, with his speed, was able to just beat the throw to first base. Nice play by Keene. I wasn't sure if he's going to let it try and go foul or get it fair. He picked it up fair, and there is your first hit of the ball game for the SwampBats.
It did look like that ball was going to go foul there, Augie.
I really thought it was, but it stayed fair, and that's a good single to start off the third.
That one's driven to right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Pitts round second. He's going to hold on there. And just like that, 2 leadoff runners aboard for the SwampBats.
Well, that's 2 pitches and 2 singles. That was a barrel right there from Michael O'Brien. He got that fastball, and he did not miss it. Drove it into right field. And all of a sudden, the SwampBats are threatening early here in the bottom of the third.
Well, here comes Cup, who struck out his last time up on that curveball, but it did go down as a drop third strike, and he made it to first safely.
If you're Keene on the mound right here, you'd have to think more curveballs might be on the way.
Pitts leads off a second, O'Brien off a first. Breaking ball inside for ball 1.
Just missed inside right there as he falls behind 1-0.
Cup ahead in the count, 1-0. Steps off, no throw over.
Yeah, we already saw the speed of Pitts. See if he tries to swipe third here. Already in scoring position though, and don't ever want to make the first out at third base.
Right. As that one's fouled off, but again, it is also a great advantage to have 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out, so they could try to force it with their speed, but already with the lead early on in the game here in the 3rd inning, might not want to force it like you said.
And especially when you have your 3-hole hitter up, you're going to let Dylan Cup hit. You're going to see what he's able to do in the batter's box.
The 1-1 pitch, breaking ball in there for a called strike. And Cup is behind in the count again. It's 1-2.
That one just clipped the bottom of the zone right there. Perfect spot for Keene. Again, he's been giving the low strike tonight, and Keene's able to take advantage of that right here.
Second straight at bat, that Cup is behind in the count, 1-2. This time doesn't have the luxury to reach first base. Pitch clock violation, that'll even the count at 2-2. So Jeffrey Keene, the third base / second base umpire, making that call. And the count's even at 2. The pitch, breaking ball, fouled away.
I really do think it's going to be a steady dose of breaking balls for the rest of this at bat here to Cup from Keene. We'll see what he goes to here, 2-2. And I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw some action on the base paths here from the SwampBats. Probably expecting an off-speed pitch from Keene.
Fastball, check swing, throw to third, not in time. So a late steal attempt by Pitts going over to third, but looks like Cup was called out on a swing there. And there'll be 1 gone.
Well, it was a fastball up. It wasn't a breaking ball. I think the SwampBats thought it might be a breaking ball. And Gabriel Pitts took off for third. The check swing, and they said he went around, so Cup is retired. However, Pitts does get the stolen base and advances over to third.
Looks like the late steal attempt might have not included O'Brien there. Looks like it might have been Pitt's call.
Yeah, and that check swing kind of throws everything off. You're not sure what exactly is going on, and it's hard for Sengenberger to make a throw with all that going on.
Exactly, especially with everyone's eyes going to the first base umpire. Runners at the corners. Pickoff attempt over to first. O'Brien slides in safely.
Yeah, we saw O'Brien in the first inning swipe second. I think it's only a matter of time until he attempts to steal that base again here. Now that it's open, we'll see if and when he goes.
First pitch to Tupou. Fake steal attempt. That one's called for a strike. Tupou behind 0-1. Tupou grounded into a fielder's choices last time, also with runners at the corners with one out. He beat out that bad throw. Looking for another RBI here to extend the SwampBats lead. Another pickoff attempt. O'Brien head first slide safely.
Yeah, Tupou kind of keeps his elbows together. It's a different type of stance than we've really seen before, at least in this ball game. He puts his hands really high and his elbows together above his head, as you can see right there. He's able to get his barrel to the ball, though, from that position.
Runner goes. That one's driven to left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Pitts will score easily. Runner will hold that second base, and it's another RBI for Tupou. 2-0 SwampBats.
Well, that was a good piece of hitting right there, as he's able to drive in the run on the RBI single. Tupou, a nice barrel, goes the other way with it, doesn't try and do too much. And then I should also mention a pretty good deke out in left field by Michael Peraza. Stealing on the pitch was Michael O'Brien, but he had to hold up to make sure that Peraza didn't catch that ball, so he was unable to advance over to third.
And as an outfielder, you are taught going towards a ball that you know is going to drop to keep your glove up to deke those base runners, because like you said right there, you hold the runners on, especially, I mean, the runner at third doesn't make a difference. He's going to score anyway, but when you're stealing, you have that jump going over to third. He was able to field that one quickly, get it into the infield, but like I said, no chance to get Pitts there as he just trotted on in safely.
And after a mound visit to Keene, they're going to stay with him here. No one warming yet in the Navigators bullpen.
Some guys standing, stretching.
Trying to calm him down and hopefully get him to get a double play ball here up the middle and get him out of the frame.
2 runners on, 1 out. First pitch is taken inside the strike zone for strike 1. Thompson grounds out the third his last time up.
3 hits in the inning already for the SwampBats, and it all starts with that bunt single. You can start a rally just finding your way onto first base.
The pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed for strike 2.
And that's the really good one right there. The one that looks like it's going to be a strike, but dives out of the zone at 77 miles an hour. That one was sharp, and that one was the one he was looking to throw exactly right there.
O'Brien leads off a second. Tupou at first. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball's taken up.
Well, he loves that fastball up with 2 strikes. He's gone to that a lot here today. He got a check swing strikeout from Cup earlier in the inning. Tried to get one again right there. Was not able to get the call. Now he'll have to try and make another pitch, 1-2.
Runners go. The curveball taken low and dribbles away. 2 runners in scoring position here with 1 gone. So a great call there by the SwampBats, picking the perfect pitch to run on while behind in the count, 1-2.
Well, you know, if he's throwing that breaking ball, he's going to try and bury it when he's ahead in the count. He did that right there. Thompson didn't bite on it, and the runners were able to advance.
Thompson Trying to get these runners in. O'Brien, once again, running down the third baseline. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Big strikeout there for Keene. As now there's 2 gone.
Back to the high fastball. Got the strikeout right there. 90 miles an hour on that fastball from Keene. His 4th punch out of the evening. And this is a big at-bat right here for TJ Schuyler. 2 runners in scoring position, 2 outs. This could be a crooked number for the SwampBats, but Keene wants to prevent that.
Romano steps in. He grounds it out to short his last time. Fouls that back out and out of play.
Romano, not Schuyler. We got there eventually. Yeah, Nick Romano has the opportunity for the big 2-out knock for the SwampBats.
He's behind in the count, 0-1. When you have that curveball sitting in the high 70s and you can hit 90 with your fastball, it's just very hard for hitters, as Keene will step off the mound. Love how after he steps on the mound, the pitch speed is saying 13 miles per hour. Interesting.
Pitch speed's been a little bit all over the place here tonight, but it normally gets the number right after the pitch.
He's dribbled foul back, and just like that, Keene is ahead 0-2.
That's the second time Romano has fallen behind 0-2. We'll see if he's able to get a big 2-out, 2-strike knock right here.
2 runners in scoring position, 2 out. The 0-2 pitch from Keene, fouled away.
Good fight right there from Romano. It'll stay alive. That was another one of those breaking balls at 79 miles an hour. On the inside part of the plate, he was able to get his hands inside on that baseball, fight it off, and live to see another pitch.
Right, because as a hitter with 2 strikes, you really do not want to get beat with that fastball, but he did a great job of keeping his hands in there and fouling it away. Still behind in the count, 0-2 pitch. Taken high, ball 1.
Got to go back up to that high fastball. That was the fastest pitch we've seen from Keene here today. 91 miles an hour. Tried to dial it up. I think he might go back to that high fastball right here. We'll see.
The 1-2 pitch. Driven in the air to center field. That's a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes Tupou rounding third. The throw is cut off and Tupou will slide in safely. 2 out, 2 strike, 2 RBI knock for Romano. It's 4-0 SwampBats.
Well, he went to the breaking ball, didn't go back to the high fastball, and Romano made him pay. That one was just a little bit too good of a pitch, and that one was roped back up the middle for a base hit. And we mentioned the crooked numbers, oh so important, and the SwampBats able to get one here in the bottom of the third, a 3 spot, as they're looking for more here. And now TJ Schuyler steps up to the plate.
Schuyler walked his last time up. Now he's back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Romano leading off at first. First pitch, swung on and missed for strike 1. Schuyler walked on 4 pitches his last time. This time behind in the count. The 0-1. Taken outside, and that'll even it.
Well, now there is action in that Navigators bullpen. Looks like Ray McNaught is up and throwing for the Navigators.
Going with another right-hander. That one's grounded to short. Flip over to second in time, and that'll end the inning. But the SwampBats score 3 as they find themselves up 4-0. You're watching NECBL in Keene.
Lucky ticket time, ladies and gentlemen. For a $25 gift card to West Swansea League. Lucky ticket number 752-186. 752-186. And that to the swap shop, you get your $25 gift card to West Swansea League. 752-186.
SwampBat fans, tonight's bright Rushing the Bases is brought to you by Spoonwood Dental. Let's give Ribby and Brett a big ol' hand. Like a nice set of teeth, the bases need to be thoroughly brushed at least twice a day. Thanks to Spoonwood Dental, Ribby brushes every day to keep his big smile looking great for all his pictures. Just like Ribby, make sure to visit Spoonwood Dental for all your dental needs.
Gold is set to lead off the inning for the Navigators as they are trailing 4-0 to the SwampBats. Any type of adjustment you want to see by the Navigators here early on in this game?
I think they just need to get into a rhythm offensively, as they just have been a little bit late on pitches. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the ball game, that adjustment to wood is much more difficult than it might seem. Wood bats, much smaller barrel, and just tougher overall to try and get solid contact with.
As Gold steps in, he's 0 for 1 with the ground out. Swings and misses at that one. Ground out to second his last time up.
Yeah, Rabidin getting ahead right there once again. That's what it's allowed him to have so much success here in the ball game thus far.
That one's taken outside for ball 1. The 1-1 pitch. Taken up for ball 2.
Yeah, Barstow hasn't been giving much of the high pitch. He has been giving the low pitch a little bit more. Gold taking advantage of what he's seen from the home plate umpire and is ahead in the count now.
Changeup taken low. Just like that. Rabidin's behind 3-1.
I think Jack Gold might have the green light here. Again, we mentioned 15 home runs at Pomona Pitzer last season. He's going to try and probably get a swing off.
Fouls that one. Definitely had a swing right there. That'll run the count full.
And 91 from Rabidin right there. Just another example of the Navigators hitters just being a little bit late.
The 3-2 pitch. Fouled away once again. These Navigators are having very pesky at-bats against Rabidin this one, not letting them go down easily. The 3-2 pitch. Off the outside corner for ball 4. A leadoff walk for the Navigators.
Well, that was a good frame from Zach Thompson, but it was just a tad bit off the outside corner. Gold works the walk. That is the 3rd walk of the afternoon thus far for Rabidin. And that is a leadoff base runner for the Navigators. That's exactly what they're looking for, trying to respond after giving up a 3 spot.
That one's taken in the strike zone. Rabidin able to get ahead after working the leadoff walk. Very important. Leadoff walks, definitely, as you're a pitcher, you know that's a big no-no to start an inning. The 0-1. Taken outside.
Yeah, there's kind of like an unwritten rule. It feels like the leadoff walk always comes around to score. We'll see if Gold comes around. He's already been able to strand 1 leadoff walk in this ball game right here. But when you're facing Brody Dalton, the cleanup hitter, it's a dangerous game to play.
Grounds that one to first. Tupou on to second base for 1. Back to first in time for the double play. 3-6-3. As Tupou was able to retreat to the bag, there's 2 gone.
Well, when you're able to get a ground ball right there, like that right there, that's able to erase the leadoff walk. The double play is able to make the inning a lot easier for Rabidin, as now there are 2 outs and no runners on base. Dalton not happy with the swing right there. Slammed his bat, actually, after making contact. But that's just a really good changeup.
As a lefty first baseman, you definitely have that advantage, being able to make that throw over to second very nicely. As the first pitch is taken for a ball, it's 1-0.
Jakonski still hitless on the season.
Struck out last time up, but ahead in the count here, 1-0. Taken low for the second ball.
That was like a pretty good pitch, but unable to frame it was Thompson. Jakonski ahead in the count, 2-0. He struck out 4 times already on the season, but he's now gotten ahead. See if he can get some confidence in him in the batter's box.
2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed for the first strike.
Goes to the 2-0 breaking ball. And he uses it on the outside corner. Gets the swing and the miss and the called strike.
Some bullpen movement for the SwampBats. Interesting to see as Rabbitin's been doing very well to this point, but it has 2 outs and has Jakonski in a 2-strike count. He sets the 2-2. Struck him out. Rabbitin able to strand the leadoff walk with a double play and a strikeout. We're heading over to the bottom of the 4th. The SwampBats lead 4-0.
What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me and my dreams, like NBT. And let's face it, life can get challenging. I need a bank that's focused on me. They've been rated tops in all the things that matter, like trust, customer service, and financial advice. So when I need a bank I can trust, it's always NBT and me.
Rondé Barber here. Being in the NFL for 16 years, I've dealt with my fair share of bumps and bruises. But typical ice packs never stayed cold long enough, were messy and inconvenient. HurtSkirt offers the same long-lasting treatment as ice does, but without the hassle. HurtSkirt uses no antifreeze chemicals, ensuring that panels freeze solid and stay colder for longer. Drop the ice, skirt the hurt. Use code BARBER20 for 20% off and free shipping at HurtSkirt.com.
Back at Alumni Field, where the SwampBats lead the Navigators 4-0. It looks like new arm on the bump for the Navigators.
It sure is. Ray McNaught out of East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. He goes to Quinnipiac University. He takes over for Keene and is going to look to keep the deficit at 4 for the Navigators. McNaught, another tall right-handed pitcher for this Navigators team. And he is tasked with trying to get Manolfi, Spielman, Rodriguez, and then the top of the order out for the Keene SwampBats. They have been seeing the ball well here today. 4 runs on 4 hits through 3 innings. And now McNaught is going to have a conversation with Sengenberger to talk about signs, make sure they're on the same page. And then they will be ready to go. Bright red Dayton helmet for Manolfi in the batter's box.
And to be a freshman year starter for the whole season is very impressive, especially out of Dayton. As the lefty bat set to face the new arm. First pitch is taken low for ball 1. Manolfi grounds it out to short his last time up. He's ahead in the count here. The 1-0. Swung on and missed.
That was a really good pitch from McNaught right there. Dove low and outside. Manolfi unable to come up with it. 93 miles an hour from the tall right-hander. Looked like a sinker that he's throwing here today.
McNaught fires. Taken out for ball 2.
So sinker, and then that was a 12-6 curveball that McNaught worked in right there.
McNaught throws his fastball 65% of the time. As that cutter, that one misses high. Count moves to 3-1. Is that cutter. Is very good against left-handed batters. Is behind here, the 3-1 pitch. Dribbled back and out of play. Count will move to full.
Big pitch for McNaught right here. As the count runs full, gonna try and get that leadoff runner out. We talked about it last half inning, but the leadoff walk ever so dangerous. We'll see what pitch McNaught goes to here.
He does have that slider, but that one's grounds over to first. Fielded cleanly and works over there is Dalton for the first out.
Yeah, went to the fastball, good location. Able to get a ground ball from Manolfi. And the first out of the bottom of the fourth is retired.
I'm gonna bring up Spielman Rodriguez, who's 0 for 1 in this one. Right-handed batter, looking to face the new arm. First pitch to him, bunt attempt, taken high as that one looks like it just slipped out of the hand of Raymond.
Well, we've mentioned it's a warm, it's a humid night.
Yeah.
Gripping the baseball can sometimes be a little bit difficult, especially when your hands become really sweaty. Like you said right there, it looked like that ball just kind of popped a little bit high out of McNaught's hand. Didn't have a good grip on the baseball.
No, and after that ball released, he immediately went to his hand and singled towards catcher. That one just slipped.
Some pitchers like using the rosin to try and get a better grip on the baseball, especially when it is humid outside. McNaught not using it.
Pitch is taken high. Spielman Rodriguez heading to count 3-0.
Yeah, Spielman Rodriguez, another interesting hand placement. Keeps him really low, and then he's able to bring him back up and get ready as the pitch is delivered.
Doesn't have the green light there as he takes that one down the middle for the first strike. Top of the order due up, like you said, with Pitts on deck. The 3-1. Taken high for ball 4. And a base runner will be on for Pitts.
Good at bat from Spielman Rodriguez right there. Saw the ball well. Didn't chase. And Pitts, who got it all started last inning with a bunt single up the first baseline, will hit here. He's 1 for 2 on the day. A strikeout, a single, and a stolen base.
As a pitcher, when you get that first pitch and you get a bunt attempt faked on you, does that mess with your mind at all going through the rest of the at-bat? Runner goes. The throw down to second is in time. A beautiful throw by Sangenberger for the second out.
Yeah, that was a strike from Sangenberger, right on the money. Rickheim didn't have to do anything, just caught it and tagged out Spielman Rodriguez for the second out of the inning. But as you mentioned, with that bunt attempt, depends on the pitcher. Sometimes it really gives you a target to throw your pitch to. Other times it can cause a little bit of a distraction. McNaught seemed to not, or well, excuse me, Keene didn't seem to have any trouble. He threw to it, and unfortunately for him, the bunt ended up being a single. He was able to locate the fastball with that bunt attempt shown.
McNaught ahead in the count. 0-2 now as he gets that slider over the plate.
Yeah, that was a hammer right there. 76, perfect location. I think he might bury one of those here as he shakes, now gets the pitch he likes and is ready to go.
The 0-2 pitch. In there for strike 3 called. McNaught comes in and slams the door as we're heading to the 5th inning. The SwampBats still lead. It's 4-0. You're watching NECBL in Keene.
SwampBat fans, yes, it's time for the race to ribbon. We have 4 more great competitors. We have Emmett, we have Ezra, we have Mia, and we have Xander. Are you guys ready? Whoever gets to Ribby first, big ol' high five is the winner. When I say go, you guys go. Ribby, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Let's see it. Emmett, Ezra, quick out of the blocks. Mia making the turn around third. Alexander is chugging. We have some absolute speedsters here tonight. Incredible performance as always. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, our competitors.
As the kids race around the edge of the infield, another fun game here in Keene, New Hampshire. A new pitcher on the mound for the SwampBats as Marcello Mastroianni, a left-hander out of Duke from Little Silver, New Jersey, takes over and is going to try and keep the Navigators bats at bay. 4 innings of no-run, no-hit baseball out of Benjamin Rabidin. Really had it going for him today.
He definitely did, and we saw a similar approach by the SwampBats yesterday as they had Kyle Peters throw for the first 3 innings. He had 3 innings of no-hit baseball, no-run baseball, as he ran into some trouble, but he dealt with them, but they took him out early. So a similar approach here after getting Rabidin throwing 4 solid innings, but it's time to switch it up, go with the left-hander.
A new look for the Navigators, who again are just trying to break through offensively. And unfortunately for them, it hasn't been much thus far to start the season. Only 1 hit in their first 13 offensive innings. However, it's going to be a lefty-on-lefty matchup to start off the top of the 5th as Michael Peraza steps up to the plate. He struck out his last time up, but now is given a different look, and we'll try and get something going for the Navigators. Mastroianni delivers the first pitch in tight. Goes with the fastball at 87 miles an hour for ball 1.
Left-on-left matchup. Looks like Coach Mack of the SwampBats definitely trying to game plan for this.
As that one is hit foul down the first base line. And the count is even at 1. A lot of moving parts for Mastroianni on the mound, as that can sometimes be a little bit of an intimidating factor for a hitter in the batter's box.
Especially you're trying to maintain focus on one thing as a hitter, and you see a lot of moving parts that can distract you.
Goes to the slider there, and it's taken outside for ball 2. Seeing it well thus far is Peraza. That one is chopped over to first. And the flip over is in time. And that is the first out. Nice job from Mastroianni as he is able to cover first base. 3-1 on the putout, and there is 1 away.
Got him to roll over on that pitch. Did a great job getting it low in the zone, having enough deception on it. Obviously not the easiest play as Tupou had to work to his right, but flipping it over, a great job by Marcello to get over to first base in time and get on the bag.
Now the catcher, Aiden Sengenberger, steps up. He popped up to the second baseman his last time up, but he's carrying a little bit of momentum as he takes that fastball in for a called strike 1. Threw out a runner in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now going to try and get something going with his bat. Mastroianni misses low. Good scoop from Thompson behind the plate. The count is even at 1-1.
Looks like he's still trying to find a gauge, a little more control on that breaking ball so far through these first 2 hitters.
We're in the high stirrups is Mastroianni here today. As that ball is hit to deep center field, Sengenberger has gone yard. He got a fastball, and he did not miss it. Aiden Sengenberger with the first run of the season for the Navigators. A blast to center field. It's 4-1.
When got in a hitter's count, got what he wanted there. And like we mentioned earlier in the game, that center field, very shallow, but despite the center field being shallow, that ball was going over in lots of ballparks. It was crushed.
Yeah, regardless of how shallow that center field might be here in Keene, that ball was touched, and it would have been gone a lot of different places, as you mentioned. And now a bunt on the third base line from Whitehill. That is perfect. Some people describe the bunt after the homer as the best play in baseball. Whitehill executes it perfectly, and after 4 innings of no-hit ball, now 2 consecutive hits on 2 consecutive pitches for the Navigators, and they're cooking here in the top of the 5th.
All for the first game and a half before this inning. They only had 1 hit to their name. Now with more hits than ever this season, because that home run was just crushed, and it went over the trees. And like we said, there was no help in that one, even in a ballpark like this.
The first pitch to Rickheim in there for a called strike 1. So now Mastroianni is going to need to take a deep breath and settle down. Try and get a ground ball here. Goes over to first, good move, and it's in time to retire Whitehill. And a little bit of a 45-degree angle used right there from Mastroianni. He's got a big smile on his face on the mound, flips the ball to himself. Looks like he might have been practicing that one, and it was perfect. Whitehill was caught off guard, and that is the second out of the inning.
Well, as a base runner, you definitely have to be very cautious with the left-hander on the mound. Never know when they can break towards first with that leg lift.
The 0-1 delivery to Rickheim. This is way up on the outside, and that is ball 1. We talked earlier this inning about the moving parts that Mastroianni kind of offers when he's on the mound. I think that worked to his advantage right there. You just don't know where he's going at all times, but it was perfect on the pickoff to first. A 1-1 also misses up and away. Goes to the changeup there, and it is 2-1.
88 miles per hour on that one. Interesting to see there when the count was even. See what he goes to now that he's behind.
And shakes off. Now gets the one he likes. Delivers. Fastball fouled back. Rickheim. Good swing. And now the count is even at 2-2.
Especially after giving up that home run, and then you give up a bunt single. You feel like, okay, I'm a new arm into this game. Things might be getting away from me here. But that pickoff attempt was so crucial into stopping any momentum they might have had.
Big pitch here, 2-2 to Rickheim. Struck out in his first at-bat. Now Mastroianni gets the one he likes. And the 2-2. Breaking ball, broken bat up the middle. Going to be a tough play, and the barehanded attempt is not gathered by Dylan Cupp. And that's going to be a single for Jack Rickheim. He's going to have to get some new lumber, but he'll be happy if he's on board with his second hit of the season.
Right, the only one that had a play on that was Mastroianni. And that's still a tough play as a pitcher. I'm sure you know, ball coming back at you, you're going to have to rework your body to make that grab, but the infielder just having no chance on that one.
Yeah, again, the Navigators playing on turf. The SwampBats on a natural surface. The grass really slowed that ball down, and Cupp would have had to barehand it and make a strong throw. Wasn't able to do so, and now a breaking ball is in there to get ahead of Sam Parks. He's come up to the plate twice. He's walked twice in 2 plate appearances here today. The 0-1 is on the outside corner for called strike 2, and now Parks is going to have to battle.
So you're saying with that last hit in their home ballpark, you think that would have definitely been a 6-3?
Depends, but it definitely doesn't get slowed up as much by the grass as it would have here. Big pitch right here. The 0-2 on the way is way down low, and a great stop by Zach Thompson, who bodied that up and made sure to keep Rickheim off second base.
Zach Thompson anticipated that bounce in a great way. He stood up knowing that that one could have really bounced up high, as that one broke very early out of Mastroianni's hand.
1-2 pitch from the left-hander is on the outside corner, called strike 3. Mastroianni skips off the mound. However, the Navigators score 1, but they still trail it as we head to the bottom of the 5th, 4-1.
What makes a great team hat? It starts with a Z. For decades, Zephyr has been making the most iconic headwear in the game, trusted by teams, colleges, and pros. We cut out the middlemen and work directly with our manufacturers, so you get top quality, fast turnaround, and prices that make sense. From bold designs to unbeatable fit, Zephyr hats are built to match the quality of your team, right down to the last stitch. Zephyr Team Headwear, born from experience, built for teams that stand out.
Four to 1 our score here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The SwampBats leading the North Shore Navigators. Another new pitcher on the mound for the Navigators, Joe Castricini, a right-hander out of Longwood. He's from Peabody, Michigan, and he's going to look to keep the SwampBats bats at bay here.
That's right, and the SwampBats staff trying their best to get all those tennis balls off the field, as they did one of their famous traditions, having Ribby ride around in the Batmobile and the fans get to peg tennis balls at him and try to get it in a window. Well, it doesn't look like many people succeeded, but it looks like all the tennis balls are getting cleared up nicely.
The small moving target you have to hit to get Ribby. They've got him all safe in that, what do they call it, the Batmobile?
Batmobile, yes.
Right, I like that.
That little purple car over there. I guess it could be hard moving with these, a lot of young people throwing out there, you know. Trying to win a raffle, as that'll be the winning stakes in that.
It's going to be Michael O'Brien, Dylan Cupp, and Chandler Tupou. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the SwampBats here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And it's going to be the job of Castricini to try and keep them at bay.
Castricini out of Longwood University, like you said. ERA sitting high at 9.37 with a 1-3 record. But 32 2/3 innings pitched, definitely tough to keep your ERA down. Anywhere close to under 10 is where, you know, respectable. Opponents are hitting .333 against them. Only season being in 2025, of course.
O'Brien has singled and walked and stolen 2 bases. A good first game for him here today. That one just misses. It's called ball 1. Yeah, welcome to the SwampBats, Michael O'Brien.
Michael O'Brien arriving during yesterday's game.
That pitch is called a strike.
Something about Castricini here. His walk to strikeout ratio, not exactly where you wanted it this season, so he could lose that control. He had 27 strikeouts and 26 walks in his 32.2 innings pitched.
Fastball, that one misses outside. Good two-seam movement on that fastball at 88. But it's a good take from Michael O'Brien. And the count moves to 2-1. Plays for Mississippi State, like we mentioned, Starkville. They call it Stark Vegas, Ryan. Pretty good ballpark they've got down there. That's a place you really want to play collegiate baseball.
Happens in Stark Vegas, stays in Stark Vegas.
Breaking ball in there for a called strike 2. That's a good pitch from Castricini. And the count goes to 2-2. Yeah, that's a trip I have to make at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get a ball game down at Mississippi State. At some point, and hopefully some point soon. There's just too much good stuff going on down there.
That's right.
The 2-2 on the way is called strike 3. O'Brien did not like it, thought it was low, but as we've talked about all day, Chris Barstow is giving the low strike to the pitchers. And a good start to the outing for Castricini.
Especially hats off to Sengenberger behind the plate. He's anticipating that one was the breaking ball like he's been throwing throughout the game, at least the Navigators pitchers. But Sengenberger's been able to frame that breaking ball, anticipating it low, and has been able to get it up into the zone after catching it.
Dylan Cupp, 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts. One of them he was able to reach first base on the drop, 3rd strike. And this time he ropes one out to right field, but not deep enough, as the catch is made by Ethan Wilson for the second out of the inning. Quickly 2 up and 2 down for Castrocini.
Well, he was just behind on that fastball, able to get a good piece of it, however. That's just one of those at-bats where you're going back towards the dugout and reminding yourself you were right on it, just missed it.
Again, due to the dimensions of Alumni Field here, if that ball's to center, it might be a solo shot, but he goes to right, which is one of the deeper parts of the ballpark, surprisingly. And it is caught by Wilson. That pitch misses outside for ball 1. Chandler Tupou has had a strong day thus far. 2 RBI single his last time up. Also stole a base in that 3-run third for the SwampBats. A little bit late on that one, fouls it off, and the count now even at 1-1.
Getting his fastball, he's close to touching 90. When you have that breaking ball in the 70s, it's just very tough to adjust as a hitter.
Pitching primarily from the stretch. A little bit of a wind-up motion. Now he goes to it, and that ball is lifted into center field, but not deep. Parks camps under it, makes the catch, and that retires the side. Quick 1-2-3 inning for the Navigators as they still trail it 4-1 after 5.
Lucky ticket time for Cheshire Fair Family 4-pack of tickets. Lucky ticket number 634-689. 634-689. You get the Swamp Shop. He gets you Cheshire Fair Family 4-pack of tickets. 634-689. Country Roads Mobile Chiropractic, practice the SwampBats to help our team reach the peak performance on the field. For safe, specific adjustments, Dr. Lizzie is helping the team recover faster, play harder, and enhance their overall performance.
Mastroianni on for his second inning of work, as he is looking to keep this Navigators offense at bay. Solo shot in the 5th inning from Aiden Sengenberger. The only run of the day for the Navigators thus far. They are going to look to build off of that as they have Wilson, Gold, and Dalton to up 2, 3, and 4 here in the 6th inning. So they finally kind of broke the scoreless inning streak that they had to start this season at 13. Now maybe we'll see if they can open the floodgates offensively. That's what they're going to try and do, and Wilson is the guy you want up to do that.
That's right. That's the star in that lineup, like you mentioned earlier on in the game. But it's really important to come out in a season, really get ahead of what you're trying to be. I feel like they started to fall behind. Now just getting any types of momentum heading into the future games is big here. And now they're only trailing by 3 with multiple innings to go.
Yeah, and Castrocini, a good job on the mound in the previous inning. Put up a 0 and shut down the SwampBats. Now maybe a little bit of momentum for the Navigators, but Mastroianni puts an off-speed pitch. Looks like a changeup at 84 right there on the outside corner. Called strike 1 to Ethan Wilson. He drops the slot there and just hits the outside corner again. Mixing up looks. Like, that's a good pitch. And quickly in the hole 0-2.
And that backdoor breaking ball, just filthy to right-hand batter.
That one is popped up into shallow right field. Right behind his position, Manolfi makes the play. And that is the that is the first out of the top of the 6th. Wilson continues to find himself in the hole 0-2 and just hasn't been able to get anything going here today. But now that brings up Jack Gold. The second baseman has grounded out and walked in his 2 plate appearances here today.
Got him to roll over back in the first inning to second base. I think they go with the breaking ball again.
He fights that one foul. And the count is quickly 0-1. Good job from Mastroianni getting ahead here in the 6th inning.
Especially after an inning where you allow 3 hits. Obviously one of them being that bunt for a hit. But with a big bounce back getting here, that's huge.
Mastroianni continues that motion, and that one is just a bit high, maybe outside. Called a ball. The count goes to 1-1. That one did not miss by much.
No, it did not, but the umpire, obviously shifting his zone towards the low part, so obviously that high strike can be a gray area for pitchers.
Absolutely, and that pitch is that low pitch like you just mentioned, and that one also not called a strike. Mastroianni doesn't get the high strike, doesn't get the low strike, and he falls behind 2-1. That low strike has been one that's been given for most of the day.
He has been consistent.
So 2-1 is way low. A breaking ball that skips in there, and the count now 3-1.
There's no giving him that one there. Bouncing before the plate, losing the grip on his breaking ball there. Enabling an easy take.
The big 3-1 pitch on the way to Jack Gold is laced up the middle. Cup has it go under his glove and into center field. We'll see how they score that. But that is a base runner with 1 out here for the Navigators. They're going to give it an error on Cup, as he knows he should have fielded that one. And a little bit of life for the Navigators here in the 6th.
That's right. I know Cup, it's his first game here at Alumni Field with his late arrival. But back in game 1, we saw multiple fielding mistakes by the SwampBats that enabled Danbury to really get momentum.
Brody Dalton steps up. He has a check swing on a breaking ball in the dirt, and they're going to say he didn't go around. SwampBats do not like that call. From my vantage point up here down the third baseline, we have a pretty good view of a check swing right there. The SwampBats press box above the visitors' dugout, as the coaches were not happy. I thought that was a swing. They didn't call it one.
Well,
and the count is 1-0.
Jeffrey Keene playing over there in the second base position to the right as well. That's a tough call to make, being over there in his position.
Yeah, very difficult angle as Dalton drives one to center field. This one has a chance to go, and it's gone. Brody Dalton takes advantage of the check swing call, gets a fastball the next pitch, and does not miss it. And the Navigators with their second homer of the day. It's 4-3.
Big bounce back inning right here for the Navigators. Obviously started to get momentum last inning with the solo blast. Now the 2-run blast within 1 run here. This could be interesting.
Yes, it's a brand new ball game. Error at shortstop gives the Navigators a glimpse of light, and they take advantage and are right back in this one. Now Jesse Jakonski, he's punched out in his first 2 plate appearances. That was a good swing from Dalton right there. First pitch way up and a little bit outside, ball 1.
Well, he got the low fastball, and within his count, only being ahead 1-0, he was looking for that fastball. That's a count where you still want to look for your pitch, and he's crushed it to center field, had his timing on point.
Jakonski cuts and misses, and the count goes to 1-1. But again, if you're on the mound and you're Mastroianni, you go ahead 0-1, maybe you don't throw that fastball, but it's called a ball. You fall behind 1-0 and you have to. That pitch bounces in, and now it's 2-1. It just changes the whole dynamic. Again, we saw the frustration from the SwampBats coaching staff. It came back to bite them.
Definitely did, and that's something as a pitcher where you're just going to have to shake off, still make your pitches. Your team still has the lead here. Obviously, a solo shot can tie it.
Jakonski hits one to right. Down the line, the catch is made by Spielman Rodriguez for the second out of the inning, and there are 2 away.
Spielman Rodriguez did a great job moving to his left there. It does look like a tough play to make, but that's the type of fly ball as an outfielder where you get a better read on because you have it at an angle. You can see the depth of where it's going to land. If you had the speed to back it up like Spielman Rodriguez, great job there getting to it.
Michael Peraza, a strikeout and a ground out. And his 2 plate appearances today takes the breaking ball outside and low, ball 1. Mastroianni hasn't really been able to land that breaking ball for a strike much here today, and so I think the Navigators hitters have been able to sit on that fastball. See what they get here, 1-0. That is the fastball. Good cut, but a little bit late is Peraza. It trickles out of play, and it's 1-1.
Nothing like lefty on lefty crime as well with that home run from Dalton. Just a great job turning on that, even from the left-hander. You sit on that fastball and you get your timing right, it can go far.
Oh, it was a sweet swing for sure. See what he goes to here, 1-1. The pitch is up high and tight at 85 miles an hour. And the count now goes to 2-1 as Peraza tries to get some bugs out of his eyes. We got bug spray up here in the press box. We're taken care of, but no bug spray on the field. They've got to deal with the gnats that are flying around.
He's still waving them out of his face, even stepping up to the plate now. It's tough.
Not to share some of our bug spray. The 2-1 is fouled off, and now it's 2-2. A little bit late on these fastballs has been Peraza here. He's going to have to fight.
Definitely want to have a shorter swing to the baseball. Maybe get your foot down earlier. Catch up to it.
As the 2-2 misses. And now it's a full count. Big pitch here for Mastroianni. No one throwing yet in the SwampBats bullpen, but a lot of people standing around as that one is cued foul. Peraza was early on it and might have ripped the cover off the baseball, it looks like. At least a little bit of it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That one's going to go towards the ball boy. Ball no longer in use. But right here, I think it's time to go right back to that fastball after slowing it down recently. We want to speed him up. He was late on those fastballs earlier in that bat. It's time to blow him away.
Big pitch, especially with Sengenberger, who homered his last time up on deck. Another 3-2. On the way is low, ball 4. That's a good at-bat from Peraza right there. He works the walk. And he reaches first base. As now there is some action in that SwampBats bullpen. And a mound visit for Keene. It looks like the hurler is James Lordy, warming up for the SwampBats. And he might have already been throwing. It might be coming into the game right here, right now. I think he is. As Keene's going to make a pitching change. We'll have all the news and notes on Lordy when we return on ESPN+. James Lordy, the new pitcher for the Keene SwampBats. A left-hander, goes to the University of Central Florida, heading into his senior year. 6 feet, 100 pounds. And it's a big task for him to get Aiden Sengenberger out right now.
It's just to see Coach Mack of the SwampBats going with another lefty after the success the Navigators have had against left-handers. And James Lordy, having a long college career, he is a redshirt sophomore, and he's recently from Penn State, actually, earlier on in his college career.
We'll see if Lordy can get the final out of the top of the 6th inning here. Something to note, you don't see pitchers wearing single digits very often. Lordy wearing the number 1, pretty cool. So we've got a pretty good crowd for a Thursday night here in Keene.
Lordy having a 3 ERA with a 1.3 whip in his 4 appearances on the mound.
We'll see if the pitching change works to the advantage of the SwampBats. I think after that swing Sengenberger took on Mastroianni last time, it's definitely a good idea to get a new look in there to face the catcher from Stonehill, having himself a good day, throwing out a runner from behind the plate, and he's homered offensively. Big at bat here in the top of the 6th. 4-3. The SwampBats lead the Navigators as the first pitch from Lordy is a fastball outside for ball 1, 88 miles an hour on the lefty.
It's been very important for these new arms to get ahead with their first pitch entering the ball game. When you fall behind, the hitter just definitely feels like, okay, this guy just is not there yet. He didn't warm up enough.
Sengenberger is hit by that pitch off the back foot. He goes down there. That one, 85 miles an hour, and that one is not going to feel good. Looks like it hit him on the ankle right there, and he's going to have to walk that one off.
It looked like the ball of the ankle there. Definitely not an easy spot to get hit by, especially when you're hit mid-80s. It's like the ball just curved right into his foot, not able to get out of the way of that. And now the tying run in scoring position for the Navigators.
Having a conversation with Coach Macalusco, third base coach and the head coach for the North Shore Navigators, as to whether or not he wanted to stay in this ball game. He's decided he wants to as he walks over to the first base bag. They're going to give him as much time as he needs.
A couple of Coach Macks. Coach Mack on the SwampBat side, Coach Mack on the Navigators side.
Sun finally setting here in Keene, New Hampshire. Man, this is a beautiful night for baseball.
It really
is.
is.
All said and done.
And that temperature going down is a blessing for sure.
As we have a pinch hitter into the ball game here for the Navigators. Andrew Bell is going to hit for Simi Whitehill here. So Bell sees the first pitch way outside. Looks like a cross-up right there between Lordy and Thompson. I think Thompson expected a fastball. Lordy threw a breaking ball, and now they're going to talk it over. First time throwing with one another. That can happen.
Yes. Yeah, new pitcher. Everyone's meeting each other. And that's the coolest thing about the NECBL. The chemistry you're able to form with a team you're just meeting right away. But definitely, obviously, there's some bad cases where when you're pitching to someone new, you guys might not be on the same page.
It is really cool. So many players from all over the country coming together.
Different talent levels, all playing at a high level. It's very interesting.
This is actually Alex Marat. I said it was Andrew Bell. That was the SwampBats third baseman, but it's Alex Marat. He is in the ball game here. Another one of the Mountaineers. The 2-0 on the way is up high for ball 3, and another arm warming for the SwampBats. Lordy has been tasked with getting the final out here in the 6th. He's kind of been struggling to find the zone. And Marat way ahead in the count. 3-0 here. The pitch is in there for a called strike. Gets the call there. Now 3-1.
Needed that after 5 consecutive balls. One of them hitting a batter. Finally throwing your first strike. It's about time to get into a rhythm.
Marat ready for the 3-1 offering. And that one's upstairs, ball 4. Oh, the bases are loaded here for the Navigators. We'll see how quick of a leash they have for Lordy here. This is a big spot in this ball game right now.
Definitely more bullpen movement for the SwampBats. Is now a right-hander getting loose over there.
Now Jack Rickheim steps up to the plate. Biggest at-bat of the ball game thus far. The shortstop singled up the middle his last time up, an infield single. That one's in there for a called strike. It's 0-1.
Already getting ahead of him now. This is a batter where it's tough to strike out. I know he does have a couple strikeouts on him this season, one being back in the 3rd inning. But this is a batter that's a contact hitter. It's exactly who you want it to play with the bases loaded, especially down in the lineup like this.
The 0-1. Inside, snap pick over to first, not in time. As Thompson tried to catch Marat sleeping. Unable to do so, the count is 1-1. That's one way you can sometimes bail your pitcher out of an inning. But heads up base running from the Mountaineer. Crouched in his stance is Rickheim. The 1-1 is poked out into shallow right field. Coming on and making the catch, Pablo Spielman Rodriguez puts it away to retire the side and strand the bases loaded. 4-3 Keene. We head to the bottom of the 6th.
We are Keene State. Here, we believe that everyone is welcome and anything is possible.
Look closer. We are a tight-knit community, an inclusive community, where people can be their true selves. Bring your ability, background, culture, or traditions, whatever makes you you.
You already have what it takes. Welcome to Keene State.
Second inning of work for Joe Castrocini. He got a 1-2-3 bottom of the 5th, back out for the bottom of the 6th. The Navigators now with a little bit of momentum. 3 unanswered runs. And Castrocini trying to put up another 0 right here.
You have the middle of the order coming up for the SwampBats now, but definitely some momentum, as you mentioned, especially after a shutdown inning. Obviously, the offense has backed it up, but a huge shutdown inning last time. 3 up, 3 down for him as he's back on the mound looking to continue that success. Anytime you start an outing out of the bullpen with a strikeout looking, it just shows the opposing lineup that you have deceiving stuff, especially against a 2-hole hitter like O'Brien that he struck out looking last inning.
Castrocini, again attending Longwood University in Farmville, Virginia. Ryan, have you ever found yourself making your way down to Farmville, Virginia for any particular reason?
Not yet at all, but I'm definitely trying to search around for some cool ballparks to go to.
Emphasis on yet.
Yeah, oh yeah, big time yet, because I'm a big ballpark guy. Like the MLB stadiums, I've been to probably 6 of them so far in my life. I'm trying to go to all 32, so definitely a big ballpark guy.
Which one's your favorite?
Well, biasly Citi Field, but Wrigley was definitely one of the top ones.
You ever been to Fenway?
Fenway, yes, I have, but I think Wrigley's a little better.
All right, I like it.
Don't tell the Boston guys we're around, though.
Hey, Navigators fans, don't listen to that one. Castrocini misses low. That one bounces into Zach Thompson. And the count is 1-0. Went with an off-speed pitch there to start it off.
Thompson coming into the day, batting 508 at-bats.
That one in there for a called strike. Yeah, 4 for 8, not a bad way to start the season. 2 home runs, like you mentioned. This is a favorable ballpark for home runs. Castrocini steps off, now steps back on. The 1-1 on the way. It is outside ball 2. The count goes to 2-1. The 2-1 on the way now is hit to deep center field. This one's got a chance to be the 3rd homer of the season for Thompson, and it is just out of here. Thompson just gets it over the glove of Sam Parks, who tried to rob it, couldn't come down with it, and that's one of those Keene SwampBats home runs right there. The lead's extended to 5-3.
That's Shalson. And don't get me wrong, the ball was hit very hard, but definitely would not have been going out in a lot of other ballparks, but the great effort there by Parks reaching for it. There was a moment of silence in the ballpark. Everyone was silent for a solid 2 seconds as Park was coming down from the fence on that one, but the ball did head over and extended their lead. A big insurance run.
Huge insurance run right there. Thompson's 3rd home run of the season. As we're going to get another look at it right here. Just a really sweet swing. Took a breaking ball and just got it out of here over the glove of Parks.
That breaking ball was in the outside part of the plate as well. Interesting to see him not go the other way with it, but really time it up well and hit it to center field.
The backstop from Mercer has been really good to start the season. Now the count runs 2-0 on Nicholas Romano. Romano singled his last time up. 1 for 2 on the day. As the 2-0 is cut on and missed. Now it's 2-1.
You know, for Thompson, that's his 3rd home run of the year. But all 3 of those coming when he's starting as the backstop yesterday. Going 1 for 4 still, but didn't have a home run, batting in the designated hitter hole. Maybe the streak will continue.
The 2-1 on the way from Castrocini catches the outside corner. The count now 2-2. Other scores from around the NECBL. In the top of the 4th, Ocean State leading North Adams 2-0. Bottom of the 5th in Mystic as the Schooners lead the Newport Goals 6-2. And Martha's Vineyard's turning into a little bit of a rout. They lead the Bristol Blues 9-1 in the 6th. That one is hammered to center field. Parks, they have another chance, but that one is going to be caught right in front of the SCS ad out in center field. And that is the first out, albeit a loud one here in the bottom of the 6th.
Definitely a deja vu moment for Parks heading back on that one, but was able to get behind it, making everyone in the ballpark think that was going out because he did have his back to the fence, but what he was doing there was just getting behind the ball, able to handle it cleanly for the first out. Like you said, a very loud out. Great contact there.
Now TJ Schuyler, he's walked and grounded out in his 2 at-bats here today. Plate appearance, I should say. Swing and misses. Good breaking ball from Castrocini. And the count quickly 0-1. Castrocini, other than that solo shot, has looked strong on the mound for the Navigators here.
And the biggest thing has been having command of your breaking ball.
It makes life a lot easier for pitchers. And of course, right as we say that, he bounces one in there, but still an opportunity to win the 1-1 count right here. Gets the one he likes and delivers the 1-1. It's on the inside corner, called strike 2. Schuyler's got that left pocket out the back. Maybe preference, maybe he has no idea. The left blinker, isn't that what they call it?
Yeah, I think so.
The 1-2 on the way. That's the breaking ball you were talking about right there. Swing and a miss. Go over to first to confirm it, and there are 2 away.
And I talk about control with that breaking ball, and even though that was definitely well out of the strike zone, it's a good miss, and exactly what you want to throw as a pitcher when you're ahead in the count 1-2. You make it look like it's starting off over the plate, then just dips in that last second, able to get the K there.
Second punch out for Castrocini, and he's now faced with Manolfi. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 6th. And that one misses up and away, ball 1. Menolfi, yeah, I was going to say Menolfi 0 for 2.
Yeah, and a very important insurance run there. They're finally able to crack him on the mound there with that homer. In a groove.
Menolfi fouls that one out of play. Count goes to 1-1. Especially important because the Navigators offense is waking up a little bit here.
Yeah. Against the SwampBats bullpen is going to have to brace a little bit more because they have a 5-game stretch, 5 days in a row. It's going to be taxed.
Yeah, playing in Holyoke tomorrow against the Valley Blue Sox. Navigators have a home game, 6:05 start time against the Ocean State Waves. That one just misses. Count now 2-1. Both those games broadcast on NECBL Plus tomorrow night. That's the 2-1 offering. He is foul back, and now it's 2-2. Big pitch right here for both Castorcini and in the box for Menolfi. The windup and the delivery is foul back again. Good fight out of Menolfi.
It's waiting back on that pitch, able to foul it off, even though it's hit 90 miles per hour. You do want to get that foot down sooner. Try to turn on it.
Castorcini's been able to locate his breaking balls. He's probably sitting on one and adjusting to that fastball, just fighting it off, living to try and just see one more pitch. 2-2 on the way. Foul back again. Good at bat from Menolfi right here. This is probably why he's a 300 hitter in the Atlantic 10 Conference.
Oh yeah, he has had his rough start so far in the NECBL these first 2 games, but just completing your freshman year and adjusting to this high level of play is something to look forward to. Once he gets it down, the competition down, is able to put up competitive at-bats.
29th pitch from Castorcini out of the pen on the way and hit to second, and a nice diving catch made over there to retire the side. Jack Gold corrals it and retires the SwampBats in the bottom of the 6th. 5-3, we head to the 7th in Keene.
At M&T Bank, we understand how important it is to support athletes of all types. As long as you keep playing, we'll keep cheering. Learn more at mtb.com. And we have the dash in the grass. Servo Team Paul, Cheshire County's property restoration leader since 1988.
Back here in the top of the 7th as we head down to Andrew Hillsman, who's going to talk with Coach Casey O'Brien of the SwampBats.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I'm here with Casey O'Brien, assistant coach and hitting coach for the Keene SwampBats. Casey, your guys got off to a good start in the bottom of the 3rd. Some good swings. What are you noticing from your guys thus far in this game?
Yeah, we're really focused on completing offensive jobs. You know, we're the first team to score. We've had a multi-run inning, and it was great seeing us respond right there to them putting up some runs. Let's get back on scoreboard.
Last 3 innings of this game, what are you emphasizing to your guys?
We got a little lead we got to build on and manufacture 1 or 2 here and try to give us our back end a little more runs for at the end of the game.
All right, thanks, Casey. Ryan, back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. Good stuff from the hitting coach. They've been doing well offensively here today. 5 runs on 5 hits. But now they hand the ball back to Lordy on the mound. The lefty throws a breaking ball low to Sam Parks for ball 1. Parks has been seeing the ball well here today. 2 walks already for the leadoff center fielder. Almost robbed a homer in the bottom of the 6th. Just came up short.
especially going up against Lordy, to where he did have a struggle with his command right when he entered the game, but definitely able to get ahead now, even the count at 1.
1-1 on the way from Lordy is low, and the count goes to 2-1. Lordy maybe playing a little bit of a matchup game here, lefty on lefty against Parks. There's another SwampBat warming in the pen. Submarine action going on in the pen. And the 2-1 is in there for a called strike 2. It's 2-2 to Parks. Lordy ready to go here. Big pitch, 2-2. Fastball on the outside corner, strike 3. Parks rung up, and Lordy gets the punch out.
And there goes Coach Mack. Like you said, lefty on lefty, now going to bring the righty in. Submarine, it's going to be interesting to see.
It sure is. We're going to have all the news and notes on the new pitcher. When we return, that was exactly what the doctor ordered for the Keene SwampBats. Pitching change in Keene. We'll be right back.
Got to put it somewhere today. See this?
New pitcher on the mound, Andrew Lapine out of Stetson University. They were just bumped out of the NCAA regionals. They were in the Auburn regional. Showed some good fight, but lost to NC State in an elimination game. Submarine action.
Oh, yeah.
Should be fun. Another single-digit pitcher for this Keene SwampBat squad.
Andrew Lapine coming in at Stetson, finishing up his true freshman year. In that time, he had racked up a 7.94 ERA in just 11.1 innings pitched. He did tally up the 4 strikeouts, but he did walk 4 out of those 11.1 innings pitched, and he does have that submarine action. And with that submarine, you could lose a little more control, but it does generate those ground balls, which is very important against a team like the Navigators.
Yeah, and especially in a ballpark where the fly balls can beat you, having someone who can throw submarine and get those ground balls is something that you're really excited to see when you're trying to recruit and get your guys for this summer. I'm sure that was exciting for Coach Mack from the SwampBats to be able to sign a submarine arm. He's going to try and get some ground balls right here, facing Ethan Wilson, the right fielder. 0 for 3. Pop up, a flyout, and a strikeout. First pitch, just a bit outside, called ball 1.
Good movement on that pitch. We'll get the pitch speed on it, but just missed on off the outside corner.
That one, better height, and called a strike. A little bit more over the heart of the plate. And the count is 1-1. Wilson now fouls that one off. Onto the structure, which the fans sit under here in Keene. There's a few different spots to sit in Keene.
The grandstands is where a lot of people tend to sit under the overhang. Definitely shielded a little more from the bugs here in the swamp.
As that one on the inside corner, called strike 3. Wilson not a fan of that call, but there are now 2 away. Thought that one was inside. Good start to the outing for Keene as he gets the punch out and now faces Jack Gold.
He's having great movement from that sidearm location. That ball just etching over the plate there to the right-hander. Starts off inside and just catching the inside half of the plate. Doing a great job decepting these hitters so far.
Yeah, deception, that's a good word to describe the submarine motion. That one hits the jersey of Jack Gold, and he will take his base. Gold finding his way on for a good portion of the evening. He's reached on an air, walked, and now been hit by a pitch. You know, just reaching first base 3 times without a hit.
Usual, just like how back in the first inning, the SwampBats got a run across without even getting a hit.
Baseball sometimes.
Right.
It can get weird. This is a dangerous hitter. Brody Dalton homered his last time up. Smokes one foul down the third base line.
And being that tying run up to the plate, definitely more of a threat. They needed that out in the previous batter in Gold. Now facing the tough hitter, like you said, in the 4-hole.
Dalton gonna try and tie up this ball game. Takes a big hack, comes up empty. And the count now 0-2.
Well, there he was trying to tie it right there with that swing. A big one with his head getting out in front of him.
From Chapmanville, West Virginia. Wearing that West Virginia Mountaineers helmet. There's that one, just misses. The fans here in Keene thought that was strike 3, didn't get the call.
Everyone's hands went on the fence in the SwampBats dugout, ready to cheer Lapine on.
As that one is fisted into shallow right field. Linolfi makes the over-the-shoulder catch, and that retires the side. So a 2-out hit by pitch is straight in on the base paths. 5-3 SwampBats. We head to the bottom of the 7th. The Bugs are out here in Keene, and a new pitcher on the mound for the SwampBats, or excuse me, for the Navigators against the SwampBats. It's Elliot Eaton, the tall 6'5" right-hander out of Princeton. Second Princeton arm we've seen from the Navigators here today.
Eaton had his ERA up past 8.5, but is able to tally a good amount of strikeouts with 27 strikeouts in his turn, but also, like I said before, that walk ratio, 25 walks with those 27 strikeouts in 31 innings pitched. So he does have those walks up there. Control could be messy, but he does deliver a lot of strikeouts with his deception.
Yeah, he's from Washington, D.C. And again, the second Tiger we've seen pitch today for North Shore. Have to think he's rooming with Keene. He's sharing a host family, whatever that situation might look like.
That's another great thing about the NECBL, just the host familyness, like going into a household where you don't know who these people are and they're taking you in like family. So it's very cool to see these players not only get along with each other, but with the community as well.
Pablo Spielman Rodriguez, the first to hit for the SwampBats. He is going to look to get something going against Keene again. Spielman Rodriguez has walked in this ball game. However, he was caught stealing. And try and uses plate discipline again here, but that one a good pitch from Eaton. Called a strike. It's 0-1.
Back in his freshman year in 2024, he was able to rack up 27 strikeouts as well in just 28 innings pitched, but only walking a significant amount less. Only 18 walks in that try.
Yeah, he was one of the guys for Princeton this year, was Elliot Eaton. They only played 43 games, did the Tigers. He appeared in 14 of them. The 1-1. Breaking ball and a good one. That's a called strike. It's 1-2. "31 innings pitched. Like you mentioned, 277 batting average against. Eaton gonna look to put away the leadoff hitter. Breaking ball, but Spielman Rodriguez does not bite. It's 2-2.
He has that fastball, changeup, slider. Throws that fastball almost half the time, 47%, but he fouls that slider with 31% of the time. So we're gonna look out for that here.
Eaton asking for a new baseball. He's able to get it. The 2-2 is on the way. Another pitcher with the pants pulled up is fisted again into the middle of the infield. Rickheim takes charge, but it pops off his glove. And the sure-handed shortstop makes a rare error right there. The leadoff runner's on. And that is just a tough start for the Navigators right there.
That's definitely tough for Eaton right there, forcing soft contact against the bottom of the order as well. Now the lineup flips over, and you have that base runner that you're not even responsible for over at first base.
Yeah, uncharacteristic right there. And the lineup turns over. Gabriel Pitts steps back up. He already has a bunt single on the day, squares again there. That time he doesn't come up with the baseball. The count's 0-1.
Gabriel Pitts, when he gets on base, he's able to steal as well, maneuver the base pass, get around into scoring position, especially a runner at first. It'll be interesting to see.
Central Connecticut State, another team that was in the Auburn Regional, as they were there. They were the winners of the Northeast Conference. Pitts played a role in that as well. The 0-1 on the way from Eaton. Again, squaring to bunt. This one a good sacrifice. Eaton fields it. Second baseman covers, and then Eaton throws it away down the right field line. They're going to try and score. The runner, the throw, not in time. The error allows Spielman Rodriguez to come all the way from first and score the run. And that is now 2 errors for the Navigators here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that has cost them a run.
That is such a tough play to make as a pitcher, with Gold sprinting over to second base, because with the bunt down the first base line, you draw Dalton in it at well from that first base position. No one's covering first, and Gold has to hustle over, and as a pitcher, you're just going to have to fire. So it's like a quarterback. You're throwing to a man in motion. You're going to have to hit him in stride. Throws behind him there into the outfield, enables the run.
Yeah, it's one of those situations as well where the pitcher has been throwing off a slope the whole time, as we see the replay here. Eaton fields it cleanly, but the throw just wide of Gold, who had to run a long ways and unable to change the momentum right there.
Like trying to hit a wide receiver heading towards the sideline there, just throwing it behind him, throwing an interception.
Trying to hit the SwampBat mascot in the moving car.
That game was innings ago.
Swing and a miss right there. Big cut from Michael O'Brien, a confident swing. He's 1 for 2, single, a strikeout, and a walk on the day. 2 stolen bases for O'Brien. Looking twice at Pitts is Eaton, and now O'Brien late again. The count quickly 0-2. Good job from Eaton to regroup after a few errors. Take a deep breath and pound the strike zone.
Yeah, no earned runs so far in this inning. That runner standing on second is an error of his own.
See what he goes to here, 0-2. It looks like we have a pitch clock violation here. And So that will be a ball awarded, and the count becomes 1-2. Interesting dynamic in the NECBL with the pitch clock. Obviously, in college, all the stadiums have the pitch clock shown for the pitchers to be able to see, and the catchers as well. In these NECBL stadiums, it's just manned by one of the umpires. They have a stopwatch in their pocket. So it's an interesting situation there. Breaking ball, and a good one. They say he went around. Cup. Excuse me, that was O'Brien is retired. That's a good changeup right there, and a good strikeout for Elliott Eaton.
And going back to the pitch clock has been in college ball for 2 years now. So in the first year, a lot of ballparks did not have that visual in the stadium on up there for players and fans to see. But in the second year, at least in Division II, from what I've seen, they did put that clock up as a visual. But this year being the first year for the NECBL to have the pitch clock, it's still not as a visual up for pitchers to see.
And now Dylan Cupp, 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a flyout. Good breaking ball. Catches the bottom of the zone. Cupp takes it for strike 1. .6'1", 195-pound shortstop. That one back pick to second, but Pitts back in there safely.
Great pickoff attempt there. And Gold sprinting towards second base did enable some of the SwampBat players in the dugout to get a good read at that and yell back. A great throw.
The 0-1 on the way. Fastball misses outside the ball. And now it's 1-1 with Pitts already having stolen third base earlier today in this ball game. He grabs the attention of the Navigators middle infield, and even the pitcher Eaton as well. Just have to pay attention to him. And there he goes for third, but it's fouled off by Cupp. Feels like every time we're talking about Pitts running, he decides he needs to run.
And that's such a tough one with that foul ball because he got such a good break on that pitch. He really looked like he could have been in there. But foul ball, aggressive approach by Cupp here, fouling that one off. But now he's behind 1-2, so he's going to have to protect.
You mentioned Pitts was 3 for 4 last night. This is a guy that I think we might see at the top of the SwampBats lineup.
Oh, yeah.
For a good part of the season. And as that pitch is hit over to short, Pitts smartly runs back to second as it's fielded by Rickheim, and the throw to first is in time. 6-3 on the putout, and there are 2 away. Good base running decision from Pitts right there. Already in scoring position, has speed, don't need to risk it.
No, not at all, especially with Tupou coming up, who delivered. He already has a couple RBIs to his name today, but he had an RBI knock, most importantly, back in the 3rd inning with a runner in scoring position. So obviously no reason to force it, especially with that speed, like you said, over at second base.
Eaton looking to ran the runner in scoring position. Big cut from Tupou right there. Comes up empty. And the count is 0-1. I think that was actually a foul tip into the mitt of Sengenberger. Eaton delivers again. Change up outside and a little bit high. And the count now 1-1. Charleston Southern, a very hitters-friendly ballpark. Tupou taking advantage of that. Really strong spring season he had for Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern, one of the places I've pitched at in my college career. Fun spot.
Oh, yeah?
But definitely a hitter-friendly ballpark out there.
Was it fun for you or fun for the hitters when you say fun spot?
Depended on how the outing went. I don't remember exactly, but I just remember a very steep mound. That is what I remember. Good spot, though. That one just misses again. Eaton thought he got that one. He's going to walk behind the mound, take a deep breath, and get back in there. It's 2-1. I mean, you ever been down to Charleston? That's a really good spot. Yeah, that's a really good spot.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. Great spot. Great ballpark weather the majority of the time, you know.
That was a Holy Cross spring break trip my sophomore year. Charleston Southern and the Citadel. The 2-1 on the way. Fouled onto Sengenberger, who's just getting beat up here today. Been hit by a pitch. That one off his left arm. And the count goes to 2-2.
Yeah, he's going to take a second here. He's got the forearm. Not a great place to get hit. Obviously, you have all that armor on behind the plate, but that arm right there, even if you put a sleeve on, that forearm is exposed. Straight bone.
Coach Mack for the Navigators saw that home run to center earlier in this game and just making sure his guy's healthy. He wants to see more of that over the course of the season.
Oh, yeah. Maybe in this one with some time left.
They're still checking on Sengenberger, so now we are ready to go. Sengenberger again, going to stay in there and fight through it.
And around the league, the Ocean State Waves able to pull away from North Adams. And the Schooners only leading by 1, 6-5 against the Newport Gulls.
Now we are ready to go. Big 2-2 on the way. Elliott Eaton to Tupou. As the pitch is way outside, and now it's full. Pitts still on second base. Full count here. And you have first base open if you're the Navigators, but I think you want to go after Tupou.
Both bullpens quiet.
Thompson already has a homer. He's in the on-deck circle. Kind of pick your poison situation. They go after Tupou. He flares it into left field. It's going to be a tough play. And the catch is made out there by Michael Peraza, who kind of caught that at the bottom of his glove. That retires the side. One run does score unearned. But the SwampBats tack on. It's 6-3. We head to the 8th.
SwampBat fans, Fidium Fiber Internet is bringing gig speeds to Keene. Fidium is a different kind of internet player. You get your very own dedicated connection that delivers the same ultra-fast upload and download speed. Plus, you're going to love this, there's no contract to tie you down and no hidden fees to trip you up. You get oodles of bandwidth to power all your TVs, laptops, smartphones, and smart home devices. All at the same time. Or today at fidiumfiber.com/SwampBats.
Back here at Alumni Field, where we're finishing up here in the top of the 8th inning. And the SwampBats still lead the Navigators 6-3. And the sidearm hurler is still on the mound for the SwampBats.
Sure is. Andrew Lapine did his job in the 7th.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to send him back out here for the 8th. Again, not overpowering stuff, but it's different than what you normally see.
Right, especially after seeing 2 left-handers out of the bullpen from the SwampBats. Now with a right-handed side armor, was able to strike out the first batter he saw looking. And obviously the hit by pitch started to skew things, but was able to bounce back with a pop out over to second base. Second inning getting under, 8th inning getting underway shortly as the crowd still sticking around in this hot, humid day in Keene, New Hampshire. And it's weird with baseball weather, you know, especially the college season that these players are used to. You know, you start your season, obviously baseball's a summer sport, but you start your season in such cold conditions here, especially in the Northeast, and you go down south. Like you played over in Massachusetts. What was it like having those cold practices to start the season?
I mean, you're inside for a good portion. There's snow on the ground for a lot of the preseason. I would imagine it's the same up here in Keene. You just got to find a way to get your work in inside as much as you can. But there definitely will be cold practices. But a lot of the Northeast teams will play on the road to start the season. They'll go down south, where the weather is a little bit warmer and there's no snow on the ground. And they'll try and get their games in. Looks like we have a pinch hitter here for the Navigators.
That's right. Navigators starting to switch things up here as Brooks Wright steps into the game for them. the left-handed batter, trying to get ahead of the matchups here. The right-hander on the mound, trying to see if the Louisiana Lafayette, the sophomore coming out of there, can do something. He grounds that one to the left side. Fielding it cleanly is O'Brien over to first, not in time. So right off the bench, Brooks Wright gets on base for a leadoff base runner. The Navigators have something cooking here in the top of the 8th.
Well, that was one pitch, one broken bat, but one single. I think that's the second broken bat single we've seen here from the Navigators today. Just in a perfect spot. Cup had to arrange to his left. He fielded it cleanly. Strong throw to first, just not in time.
Well, you know, it's very tough. And these past 2 games over the previous 2 days since opening day, I've seen a lot of broken bats. I think I've seen 5 so far in 3 games.
Yeah, it's not easy to make that adjustment.
Right, with the wooden bat transition. Yeah, true.
Again, you just got to get way better contact. Well, good start for the Navigators here.
Yeah, runner at first in right. Now Peraza finds himself ahead in the count 2-0.
He walked his last time up. Long at bat.
Oh, yeah. Ground ball to the left side. Could be 2. Steps on second for 1. On to first, double play. Cup was able to handle it right by himself as he stepped on second easily. And just like that, there's 2 gone.
Oh, that was perfect. If you're on the mound for the SwampBats, perfect pitch from Lapine. We talked again about, not overpowering stuff, but ground balls,
Yes.
what he's looking for. And he gets the ground ball there. He's gotten 2 in a row. He was unlucky on the first one. He gets a good break that time. Right to Cup, double play.
That one's fouled to the right side. First pitch over to Sagenberger. Been a rock behind the plate as he homered back in the 5th inning. He was hit by a pitch last time in the 6th. He's 1 for 2. He fouls that one back once again, back to the screen towards the grandstands. Landing over by the ball boys. They seem to be okay grabbing that ball. They have helmets on. SwampBats do a great job of getting the community involved, getting some local kids to do the ball boy duties. But ahead in the count is Lapine. The 0-2 pitch. Slider taken outside. That'll be the first ball.
See that? He went over the top there on that pitch. Changed up the arm angle. Did Lapine.
Yeah, so interesting there. I mean, I guess when you're up ahead 0-2, you have the right to do. It's a good idea to maybe do that, as that one's fouled away. Good at bat here by Sagenberger. Looks like he's been late on all 3 of his foul balls, being to the right side. But Lapine having none of it as he gets set. 6-3 SwampBats. Struck him out. Lapine sitting down this side of the order. After having the double play, the SwampBats are still leading 6-3. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th.
Quiros drills it to right field, and it is gone!
The moon shines on the top of the Alumni field here where the SwampBats lead 6-3 over the Navigators. A new arm for the Navigators in Cole Yenico. Yenico coming back coming from Merrimack, Colorado. He's originally from New Hampshire, in Windham. Going into his junior year upcoming, this 5'10" right-hander, weighing at 215 pounds. Looking to hold this deficit right where it is to get the Navigators a chance in the top half of the 9th inning.
He pitched on Tuesday against Upper Valley through an inning. Surrendered 2 runs, but did have 2 strikeouts. He throws a good cutter, does Yanako. He is going to try and keep the deficit at 3 right here.
Well, left-hander does have that fastball, curveball combo. That's all he uses. But he uses that fastball a lot, 76% of the time. So he really forces that curveball upon hitters.
Yeah, and that fastball does have cut action. It's maybe not exactly classified as a cutter,
right?
But I think it runs away from the barrels of right-handed hitters and into the ones of lefties.
Just saying that doesn't have tailing action, but it definitely goes away from right-handers.
Absolutely. That was a pretty good-looking moon they showed.
That was, right?
By the way, I don't know all my moons exactly. Do you know what they call that one when it's a little more than half? Do you know
what side was it?
It was the left side.
Left
was
side,
not
so
showing.
waning. Waning.
Okay.
Gibbous.
I like it.
Waning gibbous.
I like it.
We're gonna go on that one. I'm sure that's a waning gibbous right there.
If not, it would be a waxing gibbous, right?
Waxing would be on the right side.
Okay. So let's see. What do we got?
What do we got? Did I get that right? Oh, it's waxing. It was on the right side?
All right.
It was on the right side.
I had it wrong.
You did have it. No, it's on me too, actually.
No, it's good. Well, waxing gibbous kind of night.
Waxing gibbous. I got 50% of it right.
Yeah, we had gibbous.
We had gibbous, you know? We had gibbous.
Yeah, give us our flowers.
Zach Thompson leading off for the SwampBats here in the bottom of the 8th against the new arm. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Thompson homering his last time up as he shoots that one foul.
He's seeing the ball well, isn't he? That was a really confident swing right there as well.
Definitely.
That's what happens when you homer in your last at-bat.
You're on it, you're confident. As he's able to turn on that one, deep left center field, going back on it, at the track, off the wall. Thompson rounding first, he's gonna head to second, standing. It's a leadoff double for the SwampBats as they continue to cook here in the 8th.
Well, we talked about the confident swing from Thompson. He showcased it right there. Has hit it into that deepest part of the ballpark. It's 352 into that left center field gap. We're gonna get another look at it right here. And Parks had a good beat on it, but just couldn't quite get there as it was on the warning track.
And there's the dimensions of Alumni Field right there playing a dividend. I mean, that part, it juts out towards left center where that ball was hit. That first pitch is popped in the air and foul ground. Singenberger looking at it. It's going to go out of play for a foul ball.
Just over our heads right there. Count 0-1.
I mean, Singenberger making eye contact there. He went towards our press box, hearing his name called. Coach Mack making an adjustment with Romano, telling him to stay back on that. The 0-1 pitch, driven in the air to left center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Thompson around third. The throw in is offline, and Thompson's in safely. Romano moving over to second base on the throw. It's an RBI single. 7-3, SwampBats.
A good piece of hitting right there. Just dropped it into left field. And the throw out there from Peraza did not hit the cutoff man. And that allows Romano to fill in the backside, head over to second base, and get into scoring position. Got to get that throw down at a lower angle right there to prevent that from happening.
That's right. And I don't know if he thought he really had a shot in that, and that also goes towards the metal to wood bat comparison, maybe for fielders, because if that was a metal bat, it would have been hit harder on a ball like that, and he would have had a chance for a quicker play at the plate, but that ball just died in the air, able to fall, and Thompson was able to score easily. First pitch is taking in the dirt to Skyler. Skyler struck out his last time up. He's 0 for 2 with a walk back in the second inning.
SwampBats really looking to extend right here and put this game out of reach for the Navigators.
That one on the inside corner for strike one. Yanako looking to limit the damage here. Still with nobody out and a runner at second. A timeout called. Smart timeout call by Skyler. As a hitter, do you still want to call a timeout even on a long pause with the addition of the pitch clock?
Depends. He might have felt like he was out of a rhythm.
Ball's taken outside. Looks like Romano started to get a jump towards third, but he heads back to second base.
Well, now that we see that he squares to bunt, maybe he was thinking about that in the back of his mind.
Oh, yeah.
As well. See if he squares right here again.
He's still ahead in the count. The 2-1 pitch taken high for ball 3. Not sure if you want to call off the bunt now, being so far ahead in the count.
There is. Yeah, I was going to say, there is action in the Navigators bullpen again. Yanako falling into some trouble here.
That's right. First two batters faced have reached. That one swung on a miss for strike 2.
Yeah, I think that's Nick Reiser warming in the North Shore bullpen. Yanako going to try and get out of the trouble here, though.
Another right-handed arm up in the bullpen. The 3-2 pitch struck him out. Yanako with a big strikeout there, one gone.
Well, sometimes he throws the balls that cut. That one had great two-seam movement. And that one in for a strikeout. A huge strikeout for the Navigators right there.
Was able to get the strikeout, looking now with less opportunities for the SwampBats to score that runner from second. Still only with one away as the left-hand batter in Ty Manolfi steps in. First pitch to him, driven in the air to left field. That one's tailing towards the line, going over, making the diving grab. Peraza able to save a run on the diving grab, and that's the second out of the inning.
Well, he has the high throw earlier in the inning, which might cost his team a base, but he then makes a huge diving catch right there. That was a great play. Had a range to his right there. Makes the catch. That was big and definitely, like you mentioned, saved a run.
That ball was tailing crazily towards the foul line. Did a great job with the hustle getting there. As that one hits Spielman Rodriguez, and they'll flip over the lineup to Pitts with a couple runners on here with 2 away.
That one looked like it went right off the hand of Spielman Rodriguez. That pitch normally doesn't feel good. He jumped out of the box and
like
made his way right down to first. This is not the guy you want to see if you're the Navigators right here. Another at bat for Pitts. He just finds his way on base, doesn't he?
And you don't want him to get on base. He's going to make his way around like he does with his speed. He fouls that one back for the first strike. Hit into an error his last time up in the 7th. He tallied an RBI on that, however. He's 1 for 1 on the day. He did 1 for 2 actually, as he struck out looking his first time up. 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts on the day. That one's taken low and outside, and they'll even the count.
One of the fans here in Keene making everyone aware about the 20-second get a pitch clock violation.
Well, we saw new in the MLB this year, fans were chanting the pitch clock out when the opposing pitcher's on the mound. As that one's flared over to left center, going over to it is Parks, makes the grab, and that will end the inning. But the SwampBats tack on 1 as they add to their 7-3 lead as we head to the top of the 9th.
Live better with the indoor comfort of Mitsubishi Electric Mini Splits by Bergeron Mechanical Systems. Visit them at their fully interactive showroom here in Keene at 216 Marlborough Street or online at GoBergeron.com. Tell them Remy sent you.
Here at Alumni Field, where the SwampBats are looking to close this one out with a 4-run lead, and Lapine is back out on the bump for them here in the top of the 9th inning. And what do they have to do here to really, what adjustments do the Navigators have to make to really spark a comeback this late?
Well, yeah, you got to string base runners together, and you got to do so quickly against Lapine, who's thrown an inning and 2/3, only surrendered 1 broken bat single, and has 2 strikeouts to his name. He's been throwing strikes. I'm sure that making his coaches extremely happy. And he is tasked with getting the final 3 outs here and looking to get the SwampBats their 2nd win of the season.
That was a great shot of Lapine there. I mean, look at all the bugs swarming, even on the dugout right there. These are bugs coming from the swamp. You get playing next to a swamp, you get the swamp, not the SwampBats, but the swamp bugs. Definitely.
Are there SwampBats around here? How does that work? Okay.
They come out when it's dark, you know? They're blind.
Okay.
They get to settle in. First pitch is taken inside for ball 1 from Lapine. As Marat steps in now. Marat with his 2nd at-bat. He fouls that one back. That'll even the count.
Yeah, he reached base his first time up via a walk.
The 6'2" junior. Trying to get on here as he fouls that one back again. And he's behind in the count 1-2.
He was late on that pitch. Put a good swing on it, but could not come up with it. Another great job of Lapine. He gets ahead. When you're chasing a crooked number, all the pitcher needs to do for most time is just get ahead.
Struck him out. Even choking up on the bat for him did not help as Marat sat down for the first out in this one.
Huge first out. That lets everyone in the SwampBats dugout and on the field just take a big exhale. Get that first guy out, you can really take some confidence.
Another pinch hitter for the Navigators as they're trying to navigate through their bench here, try to find a batter to reach base as Jackson Power steps in, the left-hander from St. Anselm. First pitch to him, taken for a ball.
That was a good one, Navigators navigating. Did you practice that one?
I was thinking about it the whole game.
I liked it.
The 1-0 pitch. Flared over to the left side. It's going to be a tough one for Pitts. Diving, can't make the grab. It's going to fall for a base hit as Powers will hold on at first base. Navigators have another base runner. And need a few more. Bring the tying run up to the plate. Maybe a couple more to bring the tying run up to the plate. But right now, with 1 away, still with a hole to dig out of. Parks steps in. A couple of strikeouts to his last couple at bats. He takes that one outside. He walked his first 2 plate appearances, but since then has yet to put the ball in play today. The pitch. Fouled away.
Yeah, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. See what he's able to do here.
Definitely would take another walk. No reason to swing for the downs here. Like you said, base runners, base runners. The pitch. Taken for a called strike, and he's behind in the count 1-2.
Good pitch from Lapine right there as Todd Neebe warms up in the SwampBats pen just in case.
Now I asked Knibbie, I saw him in the gym the next day. He came in for relief in the opener against Danbury. He had a great outing.
6'6", Knibbie.
Huge guy, and he was in the gym right after his outing. He threw a couple of innings, and he said, I'm just here for recovery. I'm not here to work out. Nothing crazy.
Another pig pitch here, Ryan.
The count runs full. The 3-2. Fouled back. Park's trying to maybe run into some fatigue as Lapine's trying to put this game away. He's getting up there after a few innings of work now. And it's taken inside, ball 4. The SwampBats dugout really wanted that call, but once again, the Navigators get another base runner here. 2 on with 1 away.
That one just a little bit inside. Look at the face of Coach Mack right there. He thought that should have been called a strike. That pitch has been called a strike here today, not called a strike to Parks. Right there, that's his 3rd walk of the day. All the SwampBats standing on top of the bench. And trying to escape with a victory here. Now Ethan Wilson.
With a 4-run lead, the SwampBats still have Coach Mack more calm on that one. Looks like a strike call right there from home plate umpire Barstow.
The old makeup call.
Makeup call, possibly.
Maybe. That one looked a little bit up.
Hey, he is the best vantage point of the strike zone.
Sure does.
Swung on and missed, and just like that, Wilson's behind in the count, 0-2.
Just behind in the count, 0-2 all day long.
Yeah, a couple strikeouts, popped out to second base back in the 6th and struck out in the 7th. 2 on, 1 out. The 0-2 pitch hits him, and just like that, the Navigators have the tying run coming up to bat.
Well, as a pitcher, I can tell you, one of the worst feelings ever is the 0-2 hit by pitch. You get ahead, you work so hard to put yourself in a huge advantage count, and then you miss with a breaking ball, and you just award a free base, and it stings. Well, when you look at it now, the Navigators, a little bit of life. I said getting that first out was over so important.
Looks like we're going to have a pitching change here as Coach Mack's heading out to the mound after Thompson called time for a little more time for Keene to get ready. Looks like he's going to come into this game. They still lead by 4 here, and we're going to take a break. 7-3. As the SwampBats still lead. Looks like Coach Mack is going to have a conversation. Looks like a confidence talk here. Head coach going out there. Usually Stephen Bangs goes out for a little talk, but with how young Stephen Bangs is, Coach Mack is going to signal towards the bullpen. So SwampBats leads 7-3. We're going to have a pitching change. Keene heading in to close this one out.
Attention, please. Now pitching, the SwampBats from Florida Atlantic University.
Back at Alumni Field from a pitching change as the SwampBats look to take care of this one. Keene back on the mound for the SwampBats for the 2nd time this season. FAU, Florida Atlantic, going into a senior year. A 6'6" right-hander weighing at 250. Definitely has a very powerful fastball. Topped out at 95 miles per hour back in Danbury in Game 1 of the season.
This is a really large pitcher that you have to face, a specimen, one might say, on the mound. And Gold, not the tallest, but he is mighty. 15 jacks for the Pomona pitcher Sage Hens last year. And this is a really, really big at-bat. He hits third in the lineup for a reason.
That's right. Third in the lineup for a reason. With that power he has, with the crowd waiting for this game to come to an end. Tying run coming up to the plate. A crowd of 1,025 here at Alumni Field. So nothing like a good crowd coming to the ballpark. And Keene steps on the mound. He had one inning of work back 2 days ago on Tuesday. He had only allowed 2 hits and 2 strikeouts. No earned runs to his name. We're going to close the door with 1 away. The first pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 1. And it's a shame that radar gun stopped working because that one was a heater.
Sure was. Challenged him. Gold. Ready for it. Comes up empty.
And nothing like going from a sidearm hurler that may not have the velocity to a guy like Keene who has that velocity. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
2 fastballs, 2 swings.
2 misses.
Coming up empty both times.
Does he go back to it here?
I would have to believe so. We'll see what they dial up here. They're using night signs, the battery of Thompson and Keene.
The 0-2 pitch. Struck him out. Fastball on the outside corner. Freezes goal. 2 gone.
Yeah, that pitch was right there. Perfect spot from Keene. I mean, if you're Coach Mack right there, you're smiling from ear to ear with that pitching change.
Tallies his 3rd strikeout of the season. And just like that, the Navigators are down to their final out. Bases loaded, 7-3 ball game. As Dalton steps in. The 4-hole hitter takes that one low. Here comes the Keene dugout, and this time, Chris Barstow, the home plate umpire, letting them know to be quiet.
Dalton already homered in this ball game, represents the tying run in the batter's box.
He's ahead in the count, 1-0. As that one's taken low. Good frame job back there by Thompson, but does not get the call. It's 2-0.
Dalton standing really tall in that batter's box. That pitch just a little bit low to him.
It's height on height right now. He deals. Ground ball to the right side. That's through a base hit. 1-1 will score. Rounding 3rd. He'll score without a throw as the throw is cut off. Just like that, it's a 7-5 ball game.
That makes things a little bit more interesting. Dalton with a big hit there, his 2nd hit of the ball game. He's really seeing the ball well here today.
Oh yeah, 4th RBI as well, responsible for 4 of the 5 runs that the Navigators have scored. So he's playing a huge part in this one.
Now it all comes down. So Brooks right, he already has a pinch hit single in this ball game.
That's right, swings and misses at that one for the first strike.
It's been a whole lot of fastballs coming from Keene. Tense moments here in Keene, Ryan.
That's right. Just like that, after a 4-run lead hanging into the 9th inning, all those insurance run in the prior inning being very important here. That one's taken outside. As we saw in the bottom half, a great job in scoring some of those runs. Two runs already across in the top of the 9th. Navigators still down to their final out. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Umpire said he did go. And just like that, the Navigators are down to their final strike.
And to Keene. Excited.
An attendance of 1,025 are clapping. Keene ahead, 1-2. Runners lead off as 1st and 2nd. With a 2-run lead for the SwampBats. The pitch. Fouled back.
It's a good fight right there from
Yeah,
Wright.
Definitely.
Some people have to say you got to fight for your right to party. Well, he's going to try and party here. But that is a good waist swing right there. Stays alive, gives himself another chance.
Does represent the go-ahead run in the box, but he's going to have to put the ball in play to do so. Still down to their final strike. Keene sets. The pitch. Runners go. That one's taken in the dirt as the tying run will now advance into scoring position. The double steal works out. Down to their final out.
It's a bold play right
That
there
is.
out of Coach Mack and the Navigators, but it pays off. Dalton, not a speedy guy on first, but he gets to second, and he could try and tie this ball game up on a single. This is all you could ask for of a ball game right here.
Wright is locked into Keene. Seen multiple pitches. The 2-2. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. Keene puts on the finaling touches in the nail biter. 7-5 victory for the SwampBats as we're going to take a short break. You're watching the NECBL in Keene.
Winning pitcher. We had a couple of bumps. Knee. And we're joining us tonight. SwampBats next home game is scheduled for Saturday evening when we host the Rapids Vineyard Shop. Dry on the weather. Good night, and please travel home safely.
The SwampBats take away Game 3 of their season away from the Navigators, who fall 0-2 on the season, and like the SwampBats going up 2-1 now, first time over 500 early on in the season. How are the Navigators going to bounce back this early?
Well, they play Ocean State at home tomorrow. You get back to your home ballpark, but the offense came alive today. You started to see it really with Brody Dalton. He had the 2-run homer. He had the 2 RBI single, like we talked about, responsible for 4 of the 5 RBIs. He played really well today. We saw some highlights pitching as well. Ray McNaught threw well. Crestini, threw really well at the same time. But talking about Keene, it was another really good day for Zach Thompson. 2 for 4 at the plate, a solo homer and a double. He played really well. Fun game here in Keene, Ryan.
And how about the never say die mentality from the Navigators offense? Being down that far, even early on in the game, they were down by a few runs, worked their way back, but then late, dropped down by 4, was able to work a couple runs. What kind of momentum does that bring, especially coming from a game where they got shut out?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a sign of things to come. You can definitely take that on the 2.5-hour bus ride back to Lynn, Massachusetts, and carry that momentum into the game of tomorrow. A good chance for the Navigators to get into the win column, but unfortunately they leave here with the loss. It was just a real well-played game by Keene and a well-played game by the Keene pitching staff. One more guy I want to shout out, Ben Rabiton, starting pitcher for Keene, threw really well. 6 punch-outs in 4 innings of work. He was strong on the mound.
Like I said, that longevity of the bullpen really having to come to life for the SwampBats, especially in this 5-game span where they're going to have to play every day. But they did, especially when the starters go out early like Rabiton did. But Rabiton definitely set up the SwampBats for success.
He sure did, and it allowed him to get the win. And I mean, Lapine out of the pen was great as well.
Yes, and the sidearm hurler led the SwampBats to victory. A little scary at the end, but the SwampBats were able to take care of the North Shore Navigators 5-7 here in Keene. And we'll be back on Saturday for another home game. But just like that, we're going to sign off from Augie Walters. I'm Ryan Fitzpatrick, the rest of our production crew. We thank you so very much. This was a presentation of ESPN, copyrighted New England Collegiate Baseball League that you've watched here in Keene. Thank you, folks.